Okay, hello once again. Welcome back to Event Relief. My banner has seen better days, but we'll carry on anyway. Thanks everyone who is watching this next batch of sessions. We've got an event industry quiz that's coming up. I'm also going to chat with Chris Peacock of Meeting Needs, one of the beneficiaries. We've got some Pilates at 1 o'clock from Karen Pereira of Shock Logic. Gordon Gleanis is going to be doing an afternoon session. So lots of good stuff going on. The next session is going to be with my colleagues at Clear Path Analysis. And we're going to do an events industry quiz. So feel free to play along, anyone that's watching. Going to bring on a few people, I think, are in the studio. So hello, Alona.
Alexia just said, hi, Dan. Alexia just asked me if she is in. Well,
yeah, we are live. So, hello to everyone.
I'm trying to pull the team together.
Yeah, I thought I could rely on my team.
You can always rely on me.
Alona was in the studio at least 50. Georgia, you're right. You're on mute.
I thought I had to be on mute. Sorry.
Alexia's sorting out her camera and mic. Hey, Maya. Maya's a quiz master. I've had enough already. I've been on for 5 hours. Anyone else joining?
Andrew.
Luke? Andrew.
Emilia. Andrew.
Everyone's let me down. Fantastic. Anyway, well, we'll give them a couple of minutes. We'll talk amongst ourselves. So you've got a big donate now button above your head, Alona. I'll see if I can sort that out. But you might just have to put up with it.
Yeah, how far away from the target are you?
Well,
it's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a look. I need we need £427.
Very close.
So George just committed to donating £427. £427. All right, it doesn't look like Reese or Andrew are joining, and Alexia is struggling with her. So it's just going to be the three of us at the moment.
Everybody give a wave to Jenna. That is not joining, but is watching.
Andrew looks a bit strange today.
Hello.
How are you, Andrew?
I'm good, but I've been for a run, so my hair is a mess, and I'm not turning on my camera.
You had so much time to prep yourself.
That's very diva-ish of you, but that's fine. We just need your brain.
Exactly, because he's always really good with quizzes.
Is anyone that's? Let me just see if I can see anyone else in the studio. I think Alexia's disappeared. Maybe she'll come back in. But we'll get started. Maya, you're going to be our quiz master.
Great.
And let's see if I can work this piece of text.
Yeah, I'm counting on you to have it pulled up because I don't. So
yeah, it's all right. I've got it. Cool. Let's see if I can.
Right. Yeah, there it is.
Let me take this off.
Looking nice.
Right. Okay. So yeah, cool. So this quiz is about events. Is that right? Event industry?
Well, I tried to make so every question could technically be about something that happened, an event that happened, or an event that will happen. So yes.
Sounds good. So I'm going to bring up the. Go on.
I'm just gonna. Reese just said that he just got called back with a client very quickly, and he will be joining us in 5-10 minutes.
Well, whenever he's, we're only live, so whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I could rely on my team, on our team. But there we go. We've got a good few people, so all right. Alexia said you can't see anyone.
You know what we can do is we can, if anyone joins after, we can go back and just we'll ask them the same question so they can catch up.
That's fine. Alexia, I don't know if you can hear us.
Give them penalty minus 50 points.
I can't see you in. Oh, here we are. Oh, she's here.
Hi, sorry, technical difficulties.
Right, we're going to get on with this quiz led by the lovely Maya. So the first question on history.
Wait, will you go back to the
Yeah.
Is it start with history, really?
Well, this is what you sent me.
I guess so. All right.
I mean, this is a shambles.
No. There are a few categories. I'll just give a brief overview. There are a few categories. It is the amount of questions per category is not equal, so that's gonna be how it is. And a lot of the questions have multiple parts, so I will say that there will be multiple points are up for grabs for each question, and I will let you know before you answer. So yeah,
okay,
perfect.
Let's go for it.
So this one, Dan, do you want me to just sort of intro the question?
Yeah, you do
Cool.
it. You
right.
act as quizmaster. Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, it has 2 parts, and you can get 2 points for this question. You can also get 1 point if you only get 1 correct. What currently stands as A, the most watched event of all time?
It's not
B,
this event, I can tell you.
if you can, I would say to the million, if you can guess the number of viewers.
A million?
You could get a bonus point.
Okay. Most watched event. How many viewers?
It's definitely not the World Cup.
It's not the Polish game. How will Poland be getting on? Actually, I can't remember.
Not too bad, but on our sweepstake, I've got Portugal, so I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, I love our sweepstake. Jenna thinks she's won it by winning 1 game.
Senegal and Tunisia are still going to come from behind and sweep into victory. And exactly. I can't wait for my boys to do that.
By the way, the answers for these are as of when I made this quiz a few weeks ago. So if something's changed, I don't know.
Who's that?
All right. That's the question. The next question is, so this is the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. And the first point here is for just saying what her name is. But the second bonus point is if you can name what the discovery that won her the Nobel Prize was.
Okay.
Oh, good. I don't even want to give my answers at the end of this.
There's an answer slideshow.
How competitive you were.
Yeah, but I
don't really have any sense of how hard or easy these questions are, so apologies if they're tricky.
Depending on the answers, so we are giving some.
All right. So in 2000, there's a book that came out in 2003. It's a historical nonfiction book by a man named Eric Larson, and it's called The Devil in the White City. And it tells the story of a large American event. So you could get 3 points for this. You can get 1 point for the name of the event. You could get another point if you know the date of the event. And you could get a 3rd point if you know the city that the event happened in. And I guess the trick here is, what is the White City in the title?
Right, this is way too hard.
Sorry.
Okay, next.
You can, if you just guess, just guess. It'll get easier.
Yeah, I think the educated guesses are the way forward.
Yeah. Who's beeping? Someone got their thing on in the background.
I'm not too sure. It's not me. Okay. Devil in the White City.
Right. Out of interest, just remind me, Maya, how many questions are there?
There are about 20, I think.
All right.
19 or 20.
Let's keep moving.
But this is the history section, so sorry if this is the hardest one.
Yeah.
Okay, first part of this question for 2 points is when did Constantinople fall? And if you can name the sultan that led the conquest, you could get another point. And the second part should be easier, and it's which famous building, which was first a Greek Orthodox church, but later became a mosque after it was there was the conquest, but it later became a museum, and it's still a mosque, so it's sort of gone up and down in history. It's a very famous building.
What?
a famous European,
Okay. That really narrows it down. Anyone else got any idea what's happening?
It's going to get
exactly
easier.
What's happening. This is
going to get easier
for me.
Well, I understand this question. That's about it.
Weird. Oh God, I don't. Right, next.
All
Film
right.
and TV. Well,
Film
that
and
should be a
TV.
bit better.
Okay, next.
If anyone is playing along elsewhere, I apologise for the difficulty of the questions. Go. Oh, sorry. Film and TV. Yeah, look, let's click. Right.
Okay, so the Game of Thrones prequel, which is called The House of the Dragon, is loosely based on a medieval power struggle. If you can name or relate any detail about it, you will get a point. And yeah, the Game of Thrones, I think, is, someone correct me if I'm wrong, is based on the War of the Roses, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct.
Andrew? Yeah, okay.
But it also has instances from the year of the Great Calamity or something, which was King Stephen and the Queen, who is his half sister, something along the lines, which was in the 10th century or the 11th century.
Yeah, so maybe that will give you a sense for time period.
Okay.
No.
Jesus.
All right. This, you could just guess for this. So there was a famous director, very famous American director, who got his start working on a documentary about Woodstock. Right after he graduated from film school, he later became very famous. What is the name of this person? This might be one where you just guess.
As opposed to all the others.
Didn't you think to do questions that people would be able to actually answer?
Yeah, I don't know why I got my.
I didn't think these were that.
I should have asked you, Alexia, to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Reese is here.
Hi,
Reese.
guys. I'm just waiting for a call back off a client, so I might have to pop off again. I was just trying to call them.
Just tell everyone you are live on the internet. But just tell everyone.
Yeah. I know what happened. He was watching all the questions.
That's how I'm on Google.
He's trying to cheat the way he cheated getting Brazil.
Reese is trying to make out he's busy.
Yeah. You know you Reese too well.
I know.
Right. Anyway, you get 8-point deduction. Right. Let's carry on.
Okay. You can get a point if you can get any of these. Which film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1972, 1995, 1964? I will say these are all very famous movies. So you should just be able to guess and get one.
Can I opt out of this quiz?
Alexia, I should have asked you to do this.
Yeah, you should have. Maya, did you honestly think that?
Is there a theme to any of the films, Maya? Are they related in any way?
They're landmark films.
Yeah, that helps.
Like,
they're not obscure.
Honestly,
I can say that one best picture that really obscure. But like, I'm trying to think if there's like a thematic, like are they the same director, or have they all got the same sort of word in the title? Or
I didn't think through it that much. No.
Okay, well, moving swiftly on because I don't think anyone knows. Has anyone got any idea about these? Or is it just me?
I quit.
You quit. Excellent.
I forfeit.
Fashion.
Yay!
Now that is
these aren't going to be any easier. I'm so sorry.
That's something I know about.
Sorry. All right, who wore these dresses to the Met Gala? That's the.
Andrew, I can see you in one of these.
It's the same person in both photos.
No, because I know who wore these dresses, and I think she's a horrible human being, so I would never wear these.
Oh, really?
It's one person. In case you're confused, one person wore both of these.
Obvious.
I can think only about one person who could wear such things. Probably I'm wrong, but.
All right. Sorry if this is really hard. So there was a famous fashion designer who in 2005 had a spring-summer fashion show that was essentially just a giant chessboard and the models were the chess pieces. Who was it?
Is the picture there from?
Yes, it is, and it's a very famous person. So if you guess, just think of big names.
I feel like this is quite easy.
Oh, brilliant! It's government.
Now it's government.
Did Maya say that it's gonna get easier?
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry. What event was just held in Bali?
I don't have a clue.
Oh, I got that one.
I didn't guess that.
This is the only one.
Yeah, Alexia, it was Insurance Investor Live, Barley.
Is it volume going down on my side only?
Huh? What was that, Alona?
I feel like the volume just go down. I can barely hear you, and I'm just wondering if that's on my side.
I can hear everything fine.
Everything's good on my side.
Okay, so that's. I think
Is that your way of trying to get out of the quiz?
I'm so sorry.
No, that one was all right. That one was all right.
I can hear you.
All right, this should be easy. Okay, this should be easy. So which infamous American politician said, "I am not a crook"? A, 1 point for that, if you can name the person. B, what significant event had just happened? Another point if you can name that. And the bonus point is, what famous U.S. place was the press conference at in which this comment was made?
I'm just making this up by this.
Yeah.
You guys don't know this?
Guys, it's really easy if you think about it. Who was the one president who's had to leave office?
Who's a crook?
Like, had charges pressed against them.
Okay.
We now use it as like a thing. We now call this scandal other scandals by this name.
Yeah, it's a big scandal.
Yeah.
Like, the scandal he got fired for is now used as a go-to word for other scandals.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, something.
No, don't say it.
What was it?
Okay. So multiple points here as well. When you could get points for the year, you could get points for the months. You could just guess on this one. When was the Potsdam Conference held, and what was the main objective? If you can name 3 world leaders who were present, you could get a bonus point.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I. I don't.
Well,
Yes.
Man, I did a history degree and I can't even remember this.
That was a long time ago. That's why.
Oh my
Potsdam.
lordy lord! I do sort of know.
Sounds like a
Just
stoner
think about,
event in Amsterdam.
just think about like one of the most significant events mid-century in the world.
The World Cup in '66.
Carnival.
100%.
Reese, did you say carnival?
Not annual Carnival 2022.
Yeah. Were you there, Reese?
Yes, I was.
Oh my.
Dan, to focus on what we're actually doing here, I've just donated to your good cause, so you should probably plug it
that's
out.
very kind. Thank you. You get bonus points.
What the hell?
Yeah, stop being so cheap, you lot.
Sports. Right, this has got
I've done it yesterday already. I didn't wait till the very last minute.
Yeah, you did, Alona. Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
Which 3 cities are tied for the most times hosting the Summer Olympics? And this count includes 2024 and 2028 projections, or if they're settled, I'm not positive. And you get a bonus point if you know how many times.
I don't think I can get 1 point for answering. Let alone a bonus.
Name a city that you know and you've got a chance.
They're really large, known cities.
Okay. I think
This is just easy.
I know one.
This is just easy. Don't give them clues on this one, Maya. This
Okay.
is just easy.
I think I actually know one.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, I know another as well.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
How many more have we got left? Is there just 20? Or is that?
Yeah.
This is 13, are we?
You're like 19 or 20. All right. Where is the Arts Festival Burning Man located? In what season does it take place? You get 2 points for that. If you could list any of the Burning Man principles, you could get points.
Whoa.
Lots of drugs.
All right, keep it clean, Andrew.
They're hilarious. When you see them pop up for the answers, you'll laugh. So just think of funny things.
George, are you still alive with us? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm just thinking what else happens during the Burning Man.
I'm going to blame these questions on Dan because it was really hard to think of event-related questions.
Right, so you came up with non-event related.
No, they're all about events. All right, the next one is, when did Glastonbury begin, and what notable event in music history had happened the day before? Honestly, if you don't have to name a specific year, you could just name a decade.
I mean, bizarrely, there's about 10 people watching. So whoever's watching, I hope you're enjoying it.
Maybe someone knows the answer. Is there like a chat function? Can someone type in the answer if they have it?
They can do. There's comments on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever. So yeah, if you are listening and
you want to participate,
I can't imagine why you'd want.
You want to comment on the level of the difficulties?
Yeah.
We welcome all your comments.
Also, Alona, why didn't you put a registration link to Insurance Investor Live North America in there?
What? Where? Jesus.
Right. Okay. Next.
Everyone should know this. Okay, at the 2003 VMAs, there were two celebrities, musicians/celebrities that kissed, and it was a big deal. Who were they? 2003.
This is the only one
I know
because
the
it was
one.
a cultural reset.
I don't know.
And if you don't know, just guess big names.
Okay.
This is the fun. No one's gonna know anything here, perhaps. So this is just the fun category. What is the world's largest food and/or drink festival? And in which city is it located? And people should know this, or it should be easy to guess. I assume many people have been to this event.
Yeah.
Oh, drink largest.
I reckon.
Oh, that's so easy.
Oh, we've got a few more donations. We're at 4653.
People feeling sorry for us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they may need all that support. Let's put some money to the pot.
All right. They're the two largest conference centers in the world. Which two cities are they located in? You can get 2 points if you can name the first and the second. And these are large global cities.
Reese, we're not hearing much from you.
Honestly, I'm like, I don't even want to guess some of these.
I'm so
So to
sorry.
save my embarrassment, I'd rather just be like, you know what,
That's true. I'm with you, man.
Reese is just trying to think of the way he can cheat himself for a win.
Oh,
like the World
give it
Cup.
a rest.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, with the World Cup, with picking Brazil.
Give it a rest. I should have shown you the process.
All right, this is the final question. There is a large gathering of professional Santas every summer in one U.S. state, the world's largest. Which U.S. state is it?
Give us a clue. Is it a cold state or a warm state?
It is a state that will be, I would say, in the middle to the south of the U.S.
Right.
So
It is not on a coast. It is not a coastal state.
Ah.
I don't
Is
think I
it
know
an
enough states.
island?
It's not an island. No, it's not an island.
All right. Everyone done? Let's look at the answers. Laugh.
Looking forward to this match.
All right. The most watched event of all time is Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh
really?
my goodness!
4.1 billion
got
viewers.
it.
Did anyone get that?
I've got Queen's funeral, 4 million.
Oh my God! Wow.
4 million or billion?
Million.
What's billion?
No,
You're
it's
just
4
a bit
billion.
off.
Oh, I feel like I should
billion.
have known that.
4 billion.
10 million people watch
You
this
can get,
thing.
Alona, I think you get 2 points for that.
Woo-hoo!
We're going to be
No.
lenient on the points here.
All right.
She was so hard.
All right, that was
You should be lenient on the answers.
what?
Lenient on the answers.
Yeah, we're gonna be lenient on the answers.
Yeah.
So the
I got
picture
it
of
right.
that
I
woman,
am so happy about this.
that was Marie Curie, and she discovered radioactivity.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
knew
just
it was Marie Curie. I didn't
But-
realize.
Marie Curie.
She was Polish, Alona. You should know that.
Yeah,
Was she?
she's
Yeah.
Polish. Yeah.
So you can get
Mary
anyone
Curie was
who
not
got.
her real name.
Wait, Dan, go back. So if you got her name, you get a point, and if you got the radioactivity, you get another point.
If
Nice.
you've got pollen as a chemical
What?
that she put named.
No.
Okay,
And what part of the
We'll take
question
it, Alona. You know what? We'll take it.
We'll take it.
All right. So the book was called The Devil in the White City, and it's about the World's Columbian Exposition, which happened in 1893 in Chicago, and was famous because it is the site of the world's first serial killer.
So I've got big fat 0 for this one.
Andrew, I thought maybe Andrew would get it.
I
Andrew,
put the
did you get
World's Fair in St. Louis in
Aha.
1904.
You know what? You get a point.
Because I just
Close
think about,
enough.
Julie
Yeah.
Garland or Tram singing.
Yeah, close enough. We'll
All
take
right,
it.
Close enough. Well done.
All right. So the building was the Hagia Sophia. So that
Yeah.
hopefully maybe someone got. And the Sultan was Mehmet II, and the year was 1453. But anything around that, you could get a point.
So far, I've got one question right.
Is it out of 3 points for the question, Maya?
Yeah, you could get 1 point for if you got everything right, you get 3 points.
Andrew, how many points have you got so far?
5.
You
How many have I got? 1.
I didn't know
All right.
a clue what century it happened in, but I knew it was Mehmet and I knew it was the Hagia Sophia.
Now, the Game of Thrones question, the answer is it is based on a civil war called the Anarchy, which is where Empress Matilda and I think her cousin Stephen were vying for the English crown.
Stephen.
Yeah, there was a King Stephen.
You can't have a King Stephen. Like, what was
It
it?
wasn't a king.
King Stephen and Prince Dave.
Oh, dear.
Answer here was Martin Scorsese, and
Yeah.
Ah,
did anyone get that?
Oh,
yeah, that was.
Yeah, Alona.
I knew
thought
it. But I
Scorsese
didn't-
changed to Spielberg.
you know. Sometimes you don't. You know the answer, and it's at the back of your tongue, and you kind of just
Yes.
spit it out. And that was this. That was this moment. So I didn't write it down.
All right, if you got any of these, you get a point. If you got 3, you get 3 points.
I only got The Godfather.
I got The
just-
Godfather as well.
I'm
That was
sorry.
it.
If people actually guessed that correctly, you Googled it.
Oh, that is some accusation.
Some of us spend our free time watching YouTube videos about past Oscar-winning Best Actresses. Alexia.
All right,
Oh, I put
we've
Lady
got
Gaga. Bollocks.
the
Yeah, I
person
got
in
this
those dresses
one.
was Katy
No.
Perry.
Yeah.
I
whatever.
was so close. I put Lady Gaga.
Finally,
Yeah,
a question
nice.
I got right.
Woo.
I'm on 2 now.
All right,
Alexia.
and the
Yes.
designer here was Alexander McQueen, who's
Georgie
my
Happy.
favorite
I got it
designer.
right. I'm so happy because it just looked like a Lady Gaga music video. So I was like, sure.
And the answer to this one was the G20 summit,
Yeah.
2022, which I think some people should have gotten.
Some people did get it.
Making some
No,
shots.
we didn't.
Some people should know
Some people.
if they did their work.
All right, this one, okay. I mean, Andrew helped everyone with this. So it was former U.S. President Richard Nixon, the Watergate scandal, and the fun fact is that the press conference happened at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Yep.
Oh, I
I
have
got
no
Bill
clue
Gates
how I was
because I
meant
just
to know
thought-
that.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, I just thought I remember.
With all my
Bill
clothes,
Gates.
they didn't
Who
get
was
it.
it
I
that
was
said that I was going
president.
to give it away? If anyone was going to guess that.
I thought it was more iconic. That no one said, I have not had sexual relations with a woman. I thought maybe he also said, I'm not correct.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not, yeah,
fair.
I could see that.
Do I get a point for that?
No.
Wrong president, wrong decade, wrong scandal, wrong type of scandal. Wrong political party.
Yeah. Apart from that.
Okay, so you could
Oh,
get a bunch of points for this. If you have anything related, I will give you a point. It was the
Yes,
leading
thank you.
allies were just planning post-war peace.
Yeah.
The three big names were Truman, Stalin, and Churchill, and it happened in 45. If for some reason you know that it was July through August, you get a point.
So I've got a full date. So I've got 1945, July, August, and I've got post-war peace. So
Wow. Yeah, you get it. You
I
points to
didn't
you.
put the names of the leaders. I just put USSR, UK, and US.
That's a good.
Do
You
I
get a point. Yes, Georgia,
Yeah.
you get a point.
Thank you.
All right, and the three cities are LA, Paris, and London for 3 times each.
Okay, I got one right.
Okay, now just skip this question.
I got 2.
Yeah, I've got 2.
Oh no, I got 1.
That's
All right, this so the concert or the art festival takes place in Nevada. If you said Black Rock Desert, you get another point. It happens in the summer, so if you said summer, you get a point. If you got the specific months, you get a point. And these are all of the hilarious values of the festival. So if you got any of these, you get points.
If anyone got that right, you're lying.
alcohol down because that's the only thing that I could think of.
I've got only Western US.
You get a point for that.
Oh yes, thank you.
Wait, did you say it was like south west or something?
Can I get a point for
No, that was-
participating?
No, that was
Yeah, it's just participation.
That was Santa.
All right. Glastonbury was founded in 1970, right after Jimi Hendrix died.
I put World War II ended.
You're joking now.
This is gonna be on the internet forever.
Stop it.
I'm gonna cut that bit up.
I've got no idea. I
Well, you
went
don't
along
know
that.
what- okay, no.
But to be fair, at least you guess.
Yeah.
I put
You're being kind, Alexia.
and that was it. I did not put the event.
I think we should dock Reese's pay for that answer.
Yeah.
You should be punished for some way.
Let's set up
Somehow.
a Just Giving for Reese.
Yeah, you have to donate £50 because of that, Reese.
Okay, answer to
got this
this
one right.
one was Madonna and Britney. People should know this.
Do we get one? Do we get 1 point for one?
That was a culture.
Yeah, if you got one, you get a point. If you got
I
both,
got
you get 2
Madonna. I
points.
just didn't know who.
Oh my
All right,
god.
you can get a point, Reese.
So I've got 2 points.
I put Madonna and Reese.
All right, everyone should have known this. This is Oktoberfest.
Oh my god, I actually got it right.
I got it right. I'm really happy
Wow.
about this.
All right, this one, if you guessed Germany and China, Hanover and Shanghai.
Nope, I did not guess that.
This is the first conference center and was located. Did not get this one right.
And the last question, the answer is Missouri.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I feel like I'm the only one that's answered this honestly, other than Reese.
No, girl.
I got the last one completely
That's
wrong.
what I'm
I
saying.
don't believe half of you got
Okay.
the questions right.
I just don't know how you know this stuff. How do
Sorry.
you know this?
There is
No.
some of them were general
You're
knowledge.
googling it.
Yeah, what have I been doing all my life?
Right, do you want to do
Some
like
others
count
are
from 1
random.
upwards, and then people will say what they've got? So like, who got 1, who
Yeah.
got 2?
All right, so if you
One
got
second.
1 point, just say your name. 2 points. 3 points. 4 points.
Come on, Reese.
Come on,
5
someone.
There should be more people with hands
Yeah,
up
there's
right
trust
now.
me.
Come
Come
on.
on, guys.
Let's all be honest
Come
here.
on.
Dan included.
I've got 6.
6. All right. 7. 8.
Right, Georgia, you're lying now. I'm telling you, Lola. Sorry.
9. Anyone got 9?
9?
10.
No.
11.
No.
No,
12.
Do you know how hard this quiz
Right,
is?
like I don't. I want to see the proof.
Alona got 12.
I want to see your Google search history.
13.
Go for it. Go for it.
It doesn't work with the camera.
Anyone get 13? 14. 15. 16.
Georgia, you're a big fat liar.
17. 18. 19.
I got 18.
I got
Wow.
19.
Do you know
Oh
what?
my god.
Do you know what?
I reckon
Well,
anyone who's got over
All of
18
you
should go on
submit
Who
your
Wants to Be a
search
Millionaire.
histories right now. Show your search histories.
Andrew,
Go for it, mate.
we're not doing that live. Andrew, did you win? You got 19.
I'll have you
Yeah, so
know,
Andrew
Alexia,
wins
I
again.
got several questions completely wrong. I thought it was Karl Lagerfeld who did the fashion show. I thought it was Steven Spielberg. I put London and Dubai for the conference centres.
I
I
put
thought
New
the
York and
centres were in
Geneva.
Ohio. I didn't know Jimi Hendrix had died the day before, but I knew it was
Me
1970.
There is no
Right.
possible
Alright.
way that all of you knew most of those questions.
Well
Andrew
done,
knows a lot.
Girl, I don't know.
Andrew,
what to tell
do you mind coming on for a second, Andrew? I'll take a quick picture of us all.
Hang on, I need to take a washing down in the background of my spare room.
Again, this is live.
Yeah, giving people reality, giving people the lived experience.
Right, say, I don't know what to say. Say quiz.
Quiz.
Nice. Right, listen, thanks guys for participating. I'm going to be carrying on. Well done, Maya. You're never hosting a quiz again.
It was a great quiz.
It was not as bad.
I will say my
It
questions
was a
were
fantastic
definitely
opportunity for me to showcase how much better I am
I'll
than
be in the
everyone.
office
they
tomorrow.
were
I'm gonna
directed
pick
at
you up.
Andrew. I was playing towards Andrew.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Team Clear Path Analysis with the big event industry quiz. Hope you enjoyed that. They were really difficult questions. Well done to Andrew Wayne for winning. We got quite a few donations during that point of event relief. Sorry, my brain's starting to go after 5 hours. So we are at £4,653. So we're what, £347 away from the 5K target. So please consider donating. Great cause, supporting better mental health and well-being, supporting 3 event industry charities, EventWell, Make It Blue, and Meeting Needs. And I'm going to be speaking to Chris Peacock of Meeting Needs in about 10 minutes. And then we got some Pilates after that. So I'll be back after a short break with Chris Peacock of Meeting Needs. Thanks very much. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to Event Relief, raising funds, supporting better mental health and well-being in the events industry, raising money for 3 beneficiaries, Make It Blue, who we spoke to earlier, EventWell, who I'm going to be speaking to at 1:45. And next up, I'm going to bring on Chris Peacock from Meeting Needs. How, Chris?
Hello, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. That's a strong bookcase you've got in the background.
Yeah, it's well known from the past 2 years. I think my bookcase in my study.
Yeah, it's very, very neat. I don't know. Does that suggest you've read them, or is that just for show?
I have done, but I've got to admit, sadly, I've got onto Kindle nowadays because I just ran out of shelves.
Sure. Listen, Chris, thanks very much for joining. Whoops, I'm just going to put this back up. So obviously Meeting Needs is one of the 3 beneficiaries of today's fundraiser, Event Relief. And just to say, we're up to £4,653, which is great. So we're just shy of 5K, well, a few £100. So anyone that is watching that is able, please do donate. Whatever it is, obviously goes to a good cause, and I'm sure will definitely help. So Chris, just want to spend a few minutes just getting to know you a bit, your involvement with Meeting Needs, and then we'll talk about Meeting Needs itself. So just sort of bring yourself to life, who you are, what you do, and how you got involved in Meeting Needs, please.
Okay. Well, I'm Chris Peacock. In my day job, I'm a founder and director of Conference Care. We're an events agency, have been around for about 27 years, something like that now. So kind of long-term events person. We're a full-service agency nowadays. I think we've changed through the pandemic, as many did, in trying to do more virtual events, more digital services. So whilst we originated as a venue finder, we're kind of more full-service nowadays. I had always been aware of Meeting Needs throughout kind of my events industry life, and got involved with the charity in 2019 when I joined the board, kind of with the responsibility to try and bring on board more charity partners for Meeting Needs. Enjoyed my varied work on the board in that time, and I was invited to become chair of the charity, which I did in May of this year.
Cool, thank you. So for those that aren't aware, can you just give us a flavour of what Meeting Needs does?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Meeting Needs has been around since 2003. It was formed by leading figures in the events industry. And in layman's terms, I kind of like to think of us as the children in need, if you will, for the events industry. So we're a fundraising charity. In the time, in the nearly 20 years we've been operating, we've raised over £1.2 million for a number of charities, both in the UK and across the world. And that's over now, I think, 360 specific projects. And the link to the event industry is, we like to think we unite the events industry, raising money for charitable causes. So the link to the events industry is that any charity that is applying to Meeting Needs for a grant will have to have a link or a sponsor from the events industry. So in essence, anyone today that's watching this and is within the events industry, as I imagine they are, if they have a charity that is close to their heart, that they feel needs further support, they can actually encourage them to apply. There is some due diligence that goes through those applications, of course. Sure. But those charities could go through for a grant. Now, grants typically to charity beneficiaries are project-based because you get something a lot more tangible in the results from that. So it's important for us also to be able to go back to industry and actually say, here's what we were able to do with the funds that we've raised. As I said, that could be in the UK. I think that in our time, probably about, I think it's about 40% has been UK. The rest is around the world. A lot of that has been supporting charities in Africa as well, which are obviously very much in need of our fundraising. So our preference is smaller charities. As I said, you have to have a sponsor from the events industry, and there are a couple more criteria there that have to be fulfilled. Cool. But literally anybody from that is related to the events industry could get involved in doing that.
And can you maybe bring to life a few of the causes that some of the money has gone towards, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose, most recently, what we were able to do was actually directly support people in the Ukraine with a direct donation of £10,000 last year, as that situation was coming up, and we were able to respond very quickly to that. In terms of there is no set criteria for what a charity needs to be doing. So it's not that they are specifically children's charities or UK or overseas or anything. One of the more recent ones we did as well was for a charity called Clowns Without Borders. And we supported them with a £5,000 grant towards what they call Project Hope. Clowns Without Borders get together children and actually who are in distressed situations, and this specific one was at children who have been relocated from Ukraine, and actually goes into schools, into community centres, and actually gives them entertainment and just a breather away from the situation that they're in. So Clowns Without Borders was a super one we were able to support. Other ones, there's another one in Africa, which was, I have to watch my pronunciation here, but it was the Diocese of Central Tanganyika in Tanzania. And this was a project whereby they very cheaply manufacture grain storage units. These go underground and are there to make sure that whatever grain they get from their harvest that year, and the harvest this year has been terrible, is actually properly stored. It will last them through the season that they need it to last through, and is also secure because the theft of the grain is a big issue from them.
Sure.
Do you want a couple more? There are many to choose from.
Yeah, so I was just trying to think. So, sort of how much, how many funds, sort of on an annual basis, do you sort of distribute in terms of monetary?
It tends to be in the region of the low 20s. Yeah. So, as I said, the grants at the moment, we are reviewing this early next year, but grants at the moment are to a maximum of £5,000.
Okay.
And obviously, through the last couple of COVID years, fundraising has been very challenging. But basically, it's whatever's in the pot. We don't have massive administrational costs. All of the board are volunteers. We do have a secretariat support who helps us with admin, website management, all those kind of things that we're not quite up to managing. So it would tend to average out as 20 projects a year, up to the region of £100,000. But if we've been able to raise more than that in the course of the year, that will immediately go out.
Sure. And are there any specific causes at the moment? Like, what are the most recent ones that you've been supporting?
Most recently, one was for it's in a UK-based project, and this was for to support women who had been trafficked in the past. And the specific project of that was the refurbishment of some in a house, giving them somewhere safe and secure that they were able to stay at. Also, the charity Seed, which we were supported by. I don't know if you've heard of Events Are Talented.
I haven't, but sounds
okay. Well, they're another great group of people who have worked with us in fundraising. They basically, it's a little bit. It's a little bit like people from the events industry coming forward and showing their talents, whether that be musically, quite often is. They raised £6,000 with us, and that went to the charity Seed, which deals with eating disorders So that was a specific project for them.
Which is, I guess, definitely on topic in terms of what we're doing today, which is supporting better mental health and well-being, because obviously eating disorders go hand in hand, right? With that. Listen, thank you so much, Chris. If people want to reach Meeting Needs, what's the website?
The website is meetingneeds.org.uk. We all have our contact details on there, so you can get in touch. Also, just reach out to us through LinkedIn. Is probably the main channel.
Excellent. And I believe that I'm speaking to your colleague Kate a bit later on.
Yes, indeed.
Kate Conway. So she's going to be joining me at 5:45 to sort of give us her flavour of what Meeting Needs get up to. So
absolutely, I'm sure she'll talk to you about Royal Parks Half Marathon, which is one of the latest fundraising efforts we did, which I took part in as well, which was great fun, running around the streets of London for a good cause, seeing all the great sights. But our group of runners, and we had a walking group as well, they were able to raise over £30,000 for that record. And I think, given our current situation, everything's in fantastic effort in their fundraising.
Fantastic. Listen, Chris, thanks so much for joining and telling us where some of the money raised today is going to go towards.
That's fantastic. Very pleased to join, Dan. Thank you for your efforts. I think you're doing a fantastic thing there for all of the charities involved today. And thanks to anyone watching and those who have been able to donate through the Just Giving page.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Chris. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Cheers, Dan.
Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, so that was Chris Peacock from Meeting Needs. And as I say, Meeting Needs are one of the three beneficiaries today, and the other two being EventWell and Make It Blue. So coming up, get your mats ready if that's what you do for Pilates. I've got Karen Pereira of Shock Logic, who has kindly recorded a Pilates session. So I'm going to be showing that in just a minute. And as I said, please encourage you to donate. We are currently at £4,653. So we're about 93% of our target. So we've got £347 to go. So if you feel like you're in a position to donate anything, even £5, £10, it all makes a difference. If you're watching on demand, I'm going to keep the page open for a while. So still, again, feel free to donate as well. So I'm going to leave you for a minute, and then I'm going to come back and play Karen Pereira of Shock Logic doing about a 35 minute Pilates session. See you in a bit.
Hi, my name is Karen.
Okay, so welcome back to Event Relief. So I'm going to be playing Karen Pereira's pre-recorded Pilates session for you to enjoy. So please do either watch or join in at home. I'm going to be doing it via YouTube, so just bear with me. So I'm just going to share my screen.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I work for ShopLogic as a senior client account coordinator. I am very honored to share with you one of my passions for a great cause. I am also a Pilates teacher, and I will teach you today a beginner lesson that will help you in your daily duties because most of the time we have to be or too many hours in a chair or too many hours walking around when we are in an on-site event. I think exercise is what keeps me grounded and with energy during the day, apart from professional counselor that I am very fortunate to receive in ShopLogic when I need it. Okay, I will share with you now some instructions so you can follow the class. It's very important for you first to breathe. It sounds like silly, but people actually forget to breathe while they are exercising sometimes. So I need you to inhale deeply through your nose and exhale. You can exhale through your nose or your mouth. It's not that important, but it's important that you breathe consciously, okay? The other principle that we keep in Pilates is to activate your core, or we can call it also powerhouse. And the powerhouse comes from your hips up to your shoulders. So it's very important for us to have a nice position, activate your stomach while keeping your belly button back, like you want to go up to your back. Inhale, open your cage rib, and exhale and activate more your stomach, okay? In doing that, also, you need to activate your butt, your muscles, and your shoulders down and to your back, okay? Also, this is a great opportunity to tell you that English, as you can see, is not my first language, but I will try to make it simple so you can follow the instructions easily, okay? So the first thing I want to do with is to warm up and to have some stretch exercises. Let's find a nice position in your mat. You can use a mat or a towel or both. In my case, I use both because I like to have my back very well supported. So just keep a nice position and relax your shoulders, relax your hands, your feet, but also try to reach the ceiling with the top of your head. So feel like you have a thread here that wants to reach the ceiling up, but your shoulders are going down, okay? Inhale deeply and let's pull our heads to the right. And exhale and let's go to the left. Inhale deeply and go to one side. Exhale and come back to the other side. Let's do it again. Inhale deeply to one side. Exhale. And now let's come back to the center. And now let's do this down and up, but be careful with your neck. In case you have an injury in your neck, let's try to control that movement, okay? Inhale and go with your chin down to your chest. And exhale and go up with your chin to the ceiling. Inhale and go down. Exhale and go up. Inhale deeply again. Exhale and go up. Come back to the center. Inhale and go to one side and go down to your chest, to the other side, and come back. And now, let's go to one side, go down with your chin to your shoulder and to your chest, and go to the other side, and come back to the center. Perfect. And now let's move the shoulders. Let's move the shoulders. Forward, up, and back, and down as a circle. Inhale deeply and go forward, up, back, and down. Again, forward, up, back, and down. And now let's move it all the way back. Inhaling and go up and forward and exhale. And back, inhale, up and forward and exhale. Perfect. And now let's put your feet in the mat like this. And let's grab our legs. Push your stomach back. And now your chin to your chest. Your shoulders down, but relax. And start stretching your arms. Inhaling. And exhale and come back up. Inhale deeply. Down. Stretching your arms and come back. And open your chest. And inhale. And roll with your back. Stretching your arms. And exhale all the air out. And come back. Good. Now let's repeat this movement a little bit with your arms up and stretch, okay? Push your stomach back. Activate your glutes and roll with your back down. And exhale up. Inhale deeply again. And exhale up. Inhale again deeply. And roll down. And exhale up. One more time. Inhale deeply. And exhale up. Great. You're doing it very well. Now let's increase a little bit the movement. And with your arms up, push your stomach back, inhale, and open one arm, and try to touch the floor and come back. Now the other hand. Inhale and open the arm, and exhale, and come back. Don't forget your stomach. Inhale, and open, and follow with your head, your hand. And open the other side. And exhale, and come back. Great, you're doing it very well. Now, let's lay down in the mat completely. Okay, let's put the hands in the mat, shoulders down and back. So you can activate your back as well. Put your stomach down. And let's put the legs up in a table position. Okay. Remember to keep your stomach very active and try to reach the floor with your toes. Okay. Inhale and touch the floor and exhale and come back. It's very important to keep your stomach activated. Inhale and exhale and come back. Inhale deeply. 3 and come back. And 4. Exhale and come back. And 5. Exhale and come back. Great. Okay, now let's do it only with one leg at a time, okay? 1 and change. 2 and change. 3. Keep your stomach active. Exhale. Don't forget about your breathing. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. Great. Come back. And now hug your legs and move from one side to the other, massaging your back. Okay. Good. Good. Very good. Now let's stretch the legs, and in this way, put your feet like a flex position, like this, with your toes back. Activate your muscles, all your powerhouse, your core, and let's put your hands in front, okay? Okay. Let's do a very active movement with your feet, like trying to push the floor, okay? And now, inhale deeply, and exhale, and go up with your shin, and come back your head. Inhale, and push your shin in the chest, and up, and try to reach with your hands, and come back. Inhale deeply again, and come back. Inhale deeply, exhale, and come back. Okay, good. Now let's put the hands down again, and let's move one leg up, okay? Put your stomach, and now let's do circles with the leg, okay? One circle to your left side, to your right side, and come back. Inhale, and let's do it again, and exhale, and come back. Inhale, exhale, and come back. 4 and 5. Okay, let's change the movement. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and come back, and let's change the leg, okay? Your shoulders have to be down, your stomach very active, and your leg stretched. The leg can be here or can be here. It doesn't have to be in 90 degrees. It can be in 45 degrees, okay? Okay, let's move it to your left, right, and come back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale deeply, exhale long. Come back. 4 and come back. 5 and come back. Let's change. 1, exhale. 2, exhale. 3, 4, and 5. Great. Now let's put our legs to our chest, and let's move from one side to the other. Great. Let's start again with some abs movements. Let's bring our chest, our chin to our chest up, pushing our stomach, and one leg in front of 45 degrees and the other pushing to our chest, okay? And let's change. 1, and change. 2, and change. Inhale deeply. Exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, 7, exhale. 8, 9, and 10. Good, and come back. Great. Now let's do another exercise that is called double leg stretch. The one that we did now, it was single leg stretch. This is double leg stretch. So let's put our chin to our chest and up. And what we need to do is to stretch our legs while we stretch our arms also to the back. And come back. Please keep your feet together, okay? And stretch and come back. If you feel strong enough, you can put your legs to 45 degrees. And exhale and come back. If not, you can repeat it to 90 degrees. And up and come back. One more and up and come back. Inhale deeply again. Good. Let's put the legs in the mat. This is an exercise, the one that comes here, that I usually do it first, but in this case, I wanted to make a little change. And it's called 100. It's called 100 because you need to do it 100 times. Let's see if we can, okay? You have to stretch your arms, put your feet together in a mat. Inhale, push your back, your stomach to your back. Inhale and exhale and go up with your arms to 45 degrees and your chin to your chest. And start moving your arms up and down. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale deeply. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Long. If your neck hurts or if you have any injury, I advise you to put your head down, okay? If you don't have any issue with your neck, then let's go up. But try to keep the strength in your stomach and not in your neck, okay? Inhale deeply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale deeply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, I really don't know if we have reached 100 already, but let's keep and do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Okay, you're doing it very well. Okay. Okay, let's change and let's sit down and open your legs a little with your feet in a flex position. Activate your glutes up. And now you feel, when you activate your glutes, you feel like you grow up, okay? Like you're a little 1 centimeter taller, okay? Let's put your hands in front. Push your stomach back. Inhale and exhale and put your chin to your chest and try now to reach in front with your hands. Not down, but in front. And your shoulders are down. Exhale all the air out and inhale deeply again back. Exhale long and go to your front and come back. Inhale deeply. Exhale and go with your chin down and your hands wants to reach your feet in the front and come back. One more time, inhale deeply and exhale. Your stomach keep going to the back, but your hands want to reach something in front of you. And come back. Good. Now let's let's leave it like that. Let's leave your legs like this. And put your arms up and aside. Your glutes activated. Your stomach very active. And now let's turn to one side. And with your hand, try to reach your toes down. 1, 2, 3, and exhale. Come back. Inhale deeply and turn to the other side and try to reach the feet. 1, 2, 3, and come back. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, exhale and come back. And again, 1, 2, 3, and come back. And down. Great. Okay, let's put your feet together and lay down again. And now let's put one leg stretch and your stomach very active, your hands up. And now let's try to reach the chin with the chest. And now up, 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 and try to reach your feet and come back. And 2, exhale and try to reach your feet and come back. And one more time. Exhale, 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 and come back. Okay, let's change our legs. Inhale deeply, activate your muscles in your stomach, and exhale, and try to reach your feet and come back. And again, and come back. One more time, inhale, and exhale, and come back. Good. That felt good. Okay. Let's come back. And now let's turn ourselves into this position with all your 2 hands in front of you and try to align them with your shoulders, okay? Not in front or not too close. Just align with your shoulders. The same with your knees. Try to align with your hips, okay? And now let's try to keep a table position. Inhale deeply. And now when you inhale, go up with your head and your glutes, and then exhale and come back. Inhale deeply and go up with your head and exhale and bring your hips and your head down. Inhale deeply again, stretch and exhale and come back. Good, good. Now let's stretch one leg. We go here, stretch one leg and just go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it there. Put your stomach. And now, if you can, just bring your arm up. The arm opposite to your leg will go up. And try to balance there, if you can. And come back. And down. Now let's go with the other leg. Stretch and go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, keep it there. Inhale deeply and move your opposite hand up, up, and exhale and come back. Good. Now sit in your feet and relax your back. in a child position. And come back. Okay, now let's stretch one leg and put your feet in the mat. And now the other. And activate all your muscles very deeply and keep it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back. And now sit in a child position, inhale deeply, and exhale. Great. Now let's do it again. One leg, the other. Don't go with your hips up. Keep the alignment between your head and your legs. And count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back. Great. Now let's sit down and let's move our hands round in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's open and close our fingers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's grab our hands and just stretch and go up and down. And now let's grab here. Open your chest, stretch, and try to go up. Be careful if you have any shoulder injury, okay? Inhale deeply and exhale. Again, inhale deeply, up. Exhale and come back. Good. Okay, let's go. Come back to this position. Scroll down. Put your hands in one side. Open your legs a little bit at your hip distance. Okay. Go with your shoulders down. Activate your muscles of your abdomen. And let's go up, 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 up. And activate your glutes, your muscles of your legs, and go down with your shoulders and activate your back. Inhale deeply. And exhale and come back, vertebra by vertebra. And come back again. Up, 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 up. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And come back. Inhale deeply again. And exhale. And come back. Okay, inhale deeply again. Keep yourself there and try to stretch one leg. Stretch the leg and keep it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back and go down. Inhale deeply again and go up. Keep it there and stretch the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back. Great. And now hug your legs from one side to the other. Great. And come back. Okay. Let's go up. If you don't have any injury in your knees, let's open your knees a little bit here. Okay, let's see if I can move a little bit a camera. Okay. Okay, and push your stomach, your glutes, and with your head, your arms in front. Let's go down and back, and come back. Just a little. And back. And inhale deeply again. Exhale. Try to keep your back stretched. And all your powerhouse activate. One more time. Exhale and come back. Good. Okay, let's go down again. Again, you need to be aligned, your hands with your shoulders, and let's move one leg up, and with your foot, you're going to try to reach the ceiling, okay? And up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it there. Keep it there. Inhale deeply. Exhale long. And come back. And the other. Go up with your foot, trying to reach the ceiling. And go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And keep it there. Inhale deeply. Exhale long. And come back. And sit down in a child position. And let's come back vertebra by vertebra. Rolling up. Okay. Now let's go down and try to reach one leg. And come back. And let's grab the other one and push it. Be careful with your knees if you have any injury. And come back. Now let's try to bring your arms and legs up like this. But you need to watch, keep your side to your mat. And now let's move your arms and legs as you are kind of swimming. And keep your head looking at your mat. No, don't look up because it's gonna hurt your neck. So let's keep moving while we keep your head watching to the mat. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Inhale deeply, exhale. And let's come back to child position. And let's go. Come back. Okay. Let's see again. This way. You can put one leg in front of the other like this or like this. Okay. Okay, if you want to keep this way, put a hand here and the other up. Try to reach the ceiling and exhale and go to the other side and come back. You can stay here and inhale deeply and exhale and come back. Let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale and then come back. Now, let's use the other hand. Try to reach the ceiling first, and then go to the other side and come back. Inhale deeply, try to reach the ceiling first, and let's go stretch, 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 and come back. One more time. Inhale deeply, go, and come back. Good. Let's go to the other side. You can keep this position or the other, whatever is best for you. Okay? Let's go with one hand to the ceiling and let's go to the other side and come back. Inhale deeply. And come back. And again. And come back. Let's go to the other side. Inhale deeply and exhale. And come back. Inhale deeply again. Up. Exhale. And come back. Inhale deeply again. And exhale. And come back. Okay. Let's do another stretch. Let's lay down and put one of your legs in front of the other. And now grab your legs and push to your chest. Be careful if you have any knee injury, okay? Inhale deeply and push. Exhaling all the air out. And let's change. Put the other one in front of your leg and grab it. Grab the one that is down and push to your chest. Inhale deeply. This exercise actually keeps your back stretched. And come back. Great. And let's come back here. And well, this is it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed all the session. If you have more questions or if you want to contact me, go to Instagram at Perea Karen, and I will be happy to guide you through your journey in Pilates. Thank you very much, and just please give a little bit of everything that we have received for the ones that need it most, especially in event industry. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back. So that was the fantastic Karen Perea from Shock Logic doing a Pilates session. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. You could even watch it back on demand and do some Pilates in your own time. So thanks to Karen from Shock Logic for actually doing that. Thank you. We got quite a few comments during the session. So thank you, Anna. Thank you, Liliana. Thank you, Yenny. Thank you, Elvira. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Anna, Liliana, and also Pritesh. So lots of people watched that session, which is great. So where are we up to? Let's have a look. We are at £4,653. So 93% towards our target. £347, I think, to go. So anyone that's watching that feels they can make a donation, any show organizers or any businesses or individuals, it all helps. Even if it's £5, £10, anything you can give to get us towards that £5,000 target. If you enjoyed that session, please show your appreciation for Karen and donate a few pennies. I'm going to pop the donation link in the chat again. Bear with me. Here we are. And in a few moments, I'm going to bring on Helen Moon, who is the CEO and founder of one of the beneficiaries of today's fundraiser, EventWell. And also joining her is going to be Lou Kiwanuka. Those who know Lou is the founder of the Ops Nest, also the chair of ESSA, I believe, well-known industry figure, and also was instrumental in helping set up and come up with the idea for EventWell Pledge back during the pandemic. And Lou and Helen are going to be talking about EventWell and EventWell Pledge and sort of where all your donations are going to go to. So just seeing if Lou is going to be on stream in a second. After that, I've got a great session with my friend Gordon Glenister. I think Gordon is also where Helen is at, which is at the IBTM event, if I've got those correct, in Spain. I wish I was in Spain instead of stuck in my bedroom, but maybe I deserve it. So Gordon Glenister is going to be joining me. A session all around influencers, and he is an influencer. He's always out and about doing things, influencing things. He's going to be talking to you about how you can work with influencers at your event to drive registrations. And then a really great session at 3 o'clock, the industry through the eyes of future event profs. So this is our future event professionals. We've got 4 wonderful students who are final year students at the University of East London on their event management course. And that session is going to be moderated by the Director of Institute of Hospitality and Tourism, Lisa Wild. And then at 4 o'clock, we got some mindfulness with Lucy Woods. 4:30, a team or cohort from Easy Fares are going to be doing a session, Would We Lie to You? So sort of a take on of the BBC's top comedy show, Would I Lie to You? And they're going to be telling their truth about the event industry, mixed in with some fibs. We've got to work out who's lying. I'm going to be taking part in that. 5 o'clock, my good friend Lee Alley from Expo Stars is going to be joining me. We're going to be chatting about all things exhibitions, and then someone that works with him, Leia, is going to be singing for us at about 5:20, 5:25. I'll also speak to Kate Conway of Meeting Needs a bit later, and then also finally we're going to end up with a nice yoga session ahead of the England-Wales game, if that's what you're going to be watching later. Led by Becca Brown from Nature's Healing and featuring a couple of representatives from 19 Group, David Bishop and Eleanor Hall. So just waiting for Helen and Lou to come out to makeup, get themselves ready. And they're going to be talking to you about all things EventWell. Hope you're enjoying today. Appreciate everyone's busy, so you might be watching this on demand. It will be sitting on my YouTube channels. Just head to Dan Assor on YouTube. Dan Assor on LinkedIn as well, and also danassor.com, where you can find lots of my podcasts with the event industry. So just going to be waiting for Helen and Lou. Do say hello as well, because it can be quite lonely sometimes doing these sort of events. It'd be nice for you to say hello if you're watching. I could bring you up on screen, leave a message. Great to sort of hear from everybody. We've had some great sessions this morning as well. Lizzie Williamson, all the way from Sydney, joined us with Doug Emslie, did a bit of a fitness session. I could see Lou in the green room. She's obviously just had her makeup done and her hair done, ready for this session. Helen has disappeared. I think I might just bring Lou on. Hi, Lou.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well.
Good. How's it been going?
Yeah, it was good. I was stalling for time there, and I've sort of ran out of things to say, so I thought I'd just bring you on.
I was in for quite a while. I was just on the wrong camera.
Oh, okay. Helen was in, and then she's disappeared, but I'm sure she'll be back.
So how much money have you raised?
Oh, we have raised £4,653.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Which is not too shabby. Not too shabby. We need a few hundred. I'm sure there must be a relatively wealthy show organizer out there who can chuck in a few £100 and get us towards our 5k target. But hopefully we'll make it. But anything that anyone can give. Where are you today, Lou?
I'm currently in my home office, and then as soon as I finish here, I'm hopping in the car and heading to Harrogate for the AEV conference that's happening tomorrow.
Of course.
Looking forward to that.
I love the fact that in your home you've got a floor. Is that a floor plan behind you?
Well, it's a little talking point. So this is our Moving Mayhem board game. So it's something that we do for Ops Foundation. We play out a board game of what it's like on site.
Oh, cool.
Every time you land on a little radio sky, the radio goes, funnily enough. And you know, there's tools that you need. They're in the loading bay.
It's just like a Monopoly type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It really helps our candidates kind of understand how event floor plan design affects the end output. It's quite fun.
So you mentioned the Ops Foundation, and obviously the Ops Nest is your baby.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Helen, tell me about that. How's that going? And in fact, there is a serious point that, and I know I bumped into you last week at the University of East London thing, that the industry is definitely struggling with ops professionals having left.
Yes.
What are you doing? How's the Ops Foundation and Ops Nest sort of trying to address that?
Well, I guess it kind of all started from when I was running my own ops team and the challenges that I kept facing with, you know, how do you run a busy ops team and bring new blood in? How do you retain people? You know, how do you develop people? Because there's no guidebook to operations. So fundamentally, we're creating a guidebook to operations, and we're doing that through online learning.
It looks great.
And a whole bunch of other fun stuff, like we go on tours, so get kind of hands dirty. We're building
lunches. I went on one of your lunches, never to return. That's a whole different broadcast. Helen.
Hello.
You've been in hair and makeup.
Shouting. I don't. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I made an effort. Yeah, I've washed and brushed my hair and put some lippy on.
How are you? How's Spain? Are you in Spain?
It's all right. You don't see much of it. You kind of fly in, you go straight to your hotel in the Exor. You know, we work in this world. We know what it's like. I could be anywhere in the world. Am I in Spain? I don't know. The lanyard says I am.
You look like you're in an evolution dome. I can tell you that.
Yes. Yeah. I'm in a. There'll be a story about the dome that I'm not going to put it live for the industry to hear, but yeah, let's just say it's been an interesting morning with the suppliers of these domes, shall we say? But yes, Evolution. If you're listening, I'll be giving you a call after this. These are big hits.
Bring him on. Okay, bring them on.
In a good way. In a good way. In a good way.
Oh, in a good way. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so, Helen, I'll leave you and Lou to have a little chat for about 10 minutes. And you're going to talk all about EventWell and EventWell Pledge and where donations are going to go and how it started and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll shut up. I'm going to duck out.
Dad,
I will be listening.
You leave us to it. Go have a cup of tea. We're just going to spend about 15 minutes now.
Cool. See you in a bit.
Kind of casting our minds back to 2.5 years ago now. So it's a bit hard to kind of step back to that moment, to what our mindsets were like in those kind of early days of the pandemic. There was such a palpable need from so many, but also not just from people who, particularly in our freelance community, who had no notice periods. There was no money outstanding that they could draw on. There was nothing really. The bank was a little dry in the first place because the season hadn't really started. But there was also a real need for people that did have something to want to do something, but no mechanism to how to do it. So what did that need look like from your side of things, like on your doorstep? How did it present itself?
It's for us, it's a start for anybody that finds himself in that kind of situation. It's the thing that can kickstart what we call the start of mental decline. So it's where you're kind of in what should be, particularly for when we got locked down. I mean, it was March, wasn't it? It was the end of March kind of stuff, and going into April, what should have been going into kind of that busy period. So you've already come out for a lot of us in the industry, particularly on the kind of corporate conference exhibitions kind of side, working in the private events kind of side. You've actually come out of quite a quieter kind of period. So you rely on that busy April to June period of business, and then later in the year, that September to November visit, because that's your bread and butter throughout the year. So to come out of that and then find yourself in a situation where everything's been locked down, and particularly from freelancers as well. We all know the peaks and troughs of our industry. It looks very different for different areas of the industry, depending on what people do. But it's suddenly finding yourself in what should be going into your kind of booming periods to finding that you've got no work. And it's, a mental decline, that start of mental decline looks basically like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to feed my kids? And then it starts to deteriorate from that. So what we're finding with Pledge and the people that are coming to a Pledge were literally just those questions. I can't pay my mortgage. I'm in arrears. The builders, I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my home. My kids are going to be on the street. I mean, the requests, and there were just simple requests like that, really, of people literally finding themselves in a situation that they've never been in before. And literally, it's first-hand experience of ever being in that kind of situation. And a lot of people were in that for the very first time.
Yeah,
what do I do? Yeah.
At the sharp end of it, weren't you? Kind of seeing that come at you. I mean, we've all heard, I think, we're only ever a few steps from being on the street ourselves. It doesn't take as much as you'd like to think it would take for you to get
3
to the point
paychecks,
where you're
say. 3 months salary.
absolutely desperate. And obviously, kind of when we started talking, the whole focus around mental health, and when you're looking at, Haslow's hierarchy of needs, how can you focus on mental health when your child is hungry or doesn't have a pair of shoes to go to school with? And so that's kind of where Pledge came out of, wasn't it? A bit that kind of like sheer kind of desperation of huge parts of our industry. But secondly, as well, a huge number of people that really did want to help but just didn't know how. So some other parts of our sector, like I know the lighting, the technicians kind of side of our industry, there are some charities that are set up to support them, but nothing in the kind of exhibition strand. So talk to us about how EventWell Pledge kind of got rolling.
Yeah, so the first thing about EventWell, as a not-for-profit, we're here for anybody in the events industry. So we don't kind of funnel or tailor to anyone in particular. If you're a professional, but remember how fluid our industry is as well. So, people move around and change jobs, and you have your specialists as well, but there is that fluidity in the industry. So we're there for everybody. We're there for everybody in their industry. But in terms of Pledge and how that kind of looked, it was setting up, like you're saying, that mechanism where people have got that place to go where they can access some support, but also as well for the people that want to help and want to support their peers and their colleagues. We're a caring, sharing industry. We're a people industry. We have that desire to help and to be hospitable and courteous and offer the support. It's driven at the heart of us because it's what we do. So to be able to set up a mechanism for people to do both. And we actually found as well that we had people that we'd given pledges to that would come back to us when they had received some money or they'd been paid, and they would make a pledge. And so it's a pay it forward kind of aspect of Pledge as well. It's just so amazing, and it's heart wrenching, and it sucker punches you every time that an application comes in, and it can get quite hard. And there's a lot of care that we have to wrap around the team at EventWell, because you're hearing some quite harrowing stories, really, but there's a lot of heartwarming goods associated with it as well, and the impact and the difference that it makes to people is just, you can't put a price on that, to be honest with you. You know the difference it makes. From being contacted by a mum that wasn't able to buy a school uniform for her little boy that was starting the new year, and we know I mean, that's a child. We know what impact that can make for a child, not being able to be in a school uniform and then, go back to school in the school uniform, to Christmas presents, to a number of young event professionals that we gave them deposits to be able to, they found themselves homeless, and we gave them the deposit to be able to get themselves into rented accommodation, got some into the washing machine. These are all things that wash their clothes. So it is like you're saying, that Maslow's hierarchy. There's a lot of stuff that actually, as working professionals, we take for granted. So when that is taken away, it is a bit of a holy, I'm not going to swear, holy cow.
Yeah.
What do I do? Yeah.
And we're used to being able to work our way out of that. And then thank goodness that there was a mechanism in place to do that. I know that you can't talk about some of the real, some of the effects that had, because it's quite personal to the people that required that pledge, and pledge is very discreet, and nobody, aside from you knows just how much effect that you did have. But for anybody watching, rest assured, I can probably say that there are people not homeless now because of EventWell Pledge, and that, I guess, ultimately is why we wanted to hop on here for 15 minutes and say, can you please donate? Because, well, let's talk about now. Is EventWell Pledge still in existence? Is it happening?
Yes, still in existence. We still get applications in every week. Yeah, there's a particular event professional we've been supporting with talking therapy for about 18 months now. The grocery voucher applications still come in every week. So we get not in the sheer numbers that it was during lockdown, but that doesn't matter. That's not important. We're still getting the applications in, and they're still coming in. And there's a lot of dignity that's wrapped around EventWell Pledge. You were just mentioning there, we can't go into details because we're protecting people's privacy and dignity. But things like the fact that we give vouchers rather than setting up a food bank or anything like that. We don't do that because what we want to do is we understand that you're struggling. Here's your Sainsbury's vouchers, go and shop in the way that you would normally shop. Go and pick the foods that you would normally do. We want to try and maintain a level of normality for people as much as possible. So it's wrapped up in confidentiality. We protect people's, because there's a lot of shame associated with going to a charity for help and support, for that individual person. So we give that additional support in terms of assistance and talking to them and reassuring them and make them feel safe as well. Absolutely. So there's a lot of aspects to that because we're a mental health organisation. So it does make it
absolutely makes a huge difference. So in terms of our wider industry, I think EventWell Pledge needs to stay, because if we're looking at kind of our social responsibility within our industry, there has to be a mechanism to enable people that are falling through the gaps for our industry as a collective to kind of pick them up and get forward and get going. So there's a couple of ways that people can do that. Number one, hit that donate button and contribute, so that people kind of in the run up to Christmas especially is a really hard time, that people that have that need for a shopping, food shopping voucher can access it. And then secondly, if there's wider support that companies can give as part of their ESG policies, Helen, I guess they speak to you about a kind of year-long relationship whether they can support you on a longer-term basis. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, they can. So anybody that is interested in doing some wider stuff with us can get in touch. And also remember the important thing that your donation makes, and that's what we're saying about mental decline. When we're able to give someone support, so somebody contacts us for a grocery voucher and we're able to help them go and do their shop, we're helping to prevent mental decline. So what we're able to do is prevent someone actually developing quite serious mental illness because they find a hardship that they're experiencing. So it makes the long-lasting effects of a donation that you make it can be life-changing, absolutely life-changing. It's just so significant. So what we do is so much more than just a grocery voucher. You're actually helping keeping one of our peers and colleagues well.
Yeah. And I'd just like to say, kind of from my point of view, this is probably not something that's commonly known about me, but at one point in my life, me and my mother and my sister were at a point where we had no home, and somebody gave us a shopping voucher when we had no money and we had no means to get any money. And I've only just been able to thank the person that helped us in that situation, kind of, 30 years down the line. It absolutely makes a huge difference to people's life, and you can change the trajectory of their future. So, guys, if we haven't given you enough reasons to hit that donate button, I don't know what's required, but please do. And a big thank you to Dan for hosting, as if by magic, for hosting today and supporting in a very altruistic way. Dan, you've been cracking at this for 2 years now, and I'd just like to say a big thank you for making this happen.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. How's the show, Helen? I'm going to bring Gordon on just because. Hey, Gordon.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Hey.
Yeah, Gordon, you're at the same show as Helen, I think.
I am at IBTM. Yeah, you can see the.
Yeah.
There you go.
Matching lanyards.
Know each other.
There we go.
We don't know each other. Are you in the hall or are you in your hotel?
No, I'm in the hall. I'm in I'm actually in the Wellbeing Hub at IBTM.
There you go.
So we've got a little kind of meeting pod as well as a quiet room. So,
oh my God, I'm in a staff room with loads of boxes right at the registration desk. Such is the importance to try and find a quiet space at an exhibition hall.
All right, so listen, Lou and Helen, thank you so much.
Pleasure. All the best, Dan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so hi, Gordon.
So how are you, Dan? All right. Well done on what you've done so far. Really great to see this.
Thank you.
Cracking up. So is the thing that says live, you've been on since for 2 hours 14?
No, I've been on since 8 this morning, but I had to create 3 streams because you can only go live 4 hours into LinkedIn at a time.
Oh, I see. Right.
So you have to create 3 separate events for each 4-hour period. So
I see.
Been on since 8, so I've done about 6 hours.
Oh my God. And how do you feel?
Yeah, fine. I mean, I did 24 hours last year, so this is nothing. My voice is going a bit, so bear with me. So you were in a, it's like, do you remember that program? Who was in the broom cupboard? Was it Andy Peters in the broom cupboard on BBC? Like when he did his presenting? Was he? Yeah, you're sort of. So how is it IBTM, or is get it mixed up?
Yeah, IBTM, very much a business orientated show. I'm sort of classifying myself as a bit of a mice influencer myself, really. So it's a perfect fit for me, probably more so than World Travel Market, which covers all. This is very much for the sort of conference and exhibition and meetings and incentives industry. So it's a good fit. I'm only here for one night, Dan, and then I am off to Dubai, which is pretty cool.
You do get around.
First time I've been to Dubai, so
I can't believe that you've been to. I always see you on LinkedIn. You're in the 4 corners of the world every week.
Yeah, yeah. My kids call me uncle.
Yeah, you either are an influencer or you're an international smuggler of I don't know what. But
somebody else said that actually. Yeah, so
maybe it's on the front. So listen, Gordon, I know you're busy, so I'll keep you for as long as you've got, and I appreciate the time that you're giving up today.
It's all right, no
We're
problem.
going to talk about obviously something close to your heart, which is how influencers can help event organizers.
Yeah.
And as it says here, sort of drive registrations to events, attendance, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the title of the session is Why Working with Influencers Can Drive Awareness and Registrations to Your Event. So to start off with, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do.
Sure. Okay. So I used to run a trade association for 11 years, which was the British Promotional Merchandise Association. And then in back end of 2018, I thought, well, I've pretty much done everything I can do in this association. I'll try something different and help other associations. So as a consultant, effectively, because I love making a difference. So that's what I started. The first organization I came up to was the Branded Content Marketing Association. I will never forget it, because I was in this Soho hotel with the CEO, and we were just talking about strategy and membership and all that sort of stuff. And I think Andrew at the time felt as though there wasn't anything immediately that he was looking to do. But the pivotal moment came next. And then I said to him, what about this whole influencer sector? I mean, it's huge, it's growing, but who's representing this sector? And his mouth just dropped as if to say, holy blah blah. There isn't anybody. So anyway, cut a long story short, we decided to create the influence division of the Branded Content Marketing Association, which was a way of putting best practice front and foremost into the influencer sector. And we launched it in a nightclub in London, which was fantastic. I mean, working and dealing with influencers over the last 3 years has been very interesting, and I'll share some thoughts with you in a minute. But it's really opened my eyes up to what I never thought I would be in this. I'm almost become an accidental influencer in a way within the influencer marketing industry.
Influencer, influencing influencers.
Yeah. So because what I wanted to do was educate them, because a lot of them are really good at growing their own audiences, but actually some of them lack awareness around proper business advice, marketing support, financial guidance, and definitely around the whole legal disclosures. So that's where I thought there was a good fit for the association, and also obviously the influencer agencies and platforms as well. So that's what we did. We started out, and then a little while afterwards.
Sorry, Gordon, when was that exactly? And there's a reason for the question. How many years ago was that? When did you start?
That was 20. Well, really, we launched it in July 2019.
Okay.
2019.
So
we've since actually somewhat scaled back having influence as a membership. We focused somewhat on the agencies and platforms. I mean, if I'm really honest, it was a bit of a hard slog. And what we realized, that a lot of influencers want to be with their own tribes, and actually, if you look at many associations and look at how many of them have younger members, it's a constant issue and a challenge. It's actually a constant issue and a challenge for the events industry per se. If you look at exhibitions and see how many people attend that are under the age of 25, for example. But anyway, the point I was going to say is that we needed to get the brand out there. And I thought, well, what would be a really good idea would be to have a podcast. And I'd never even listened to a podcast in my life. So I thought, well, let's have a go. But what I realized, we very much had 0 followers to start with, or subscribers. I thought the best way to grow an audience, and this has been the ethos of my influencer journey, is to interview some pretty cool people who've got much bigger audiences than I have. And so we're approaching our 100th episode here, and something that was really delightful for me at the podcast show, I had the podcast analyzed, and it was it's now in the top 10% in the world. Although that's not necessarily massive, because a lot of podcasts start and don't finish. So the fact I've been consistent, I'm really pleased about that. And when you start to interview some real big hitters, like Dan Snow from the television was on the podcast.
He does his own history podcast as well, doesn't he?
He really has, Dan. He really has. And that's been very, very successful. In fact, he's had over 5 million views on that, which is phenomenal. And the founder of BNI, Ivan Meisner, was something I was so chuffed to bits about. The godfather of networking. And then a little while after that, I went to a show, and I saw a publisher, a business publisher there, and I thought, well, I asked them if they had a book on influencer marketing, and they said, no, we don't. We just got books on social media. So I thought, well, given the growth of this sector and a particular niche in its own right, there ought to be more books on influencer marketing. So anyway, I pitched the idea to them, and bearing in mind, Dan, I'd never written a book in my life. I didn't really know what I was doing. But I went to the publisher, and they pretty much believed everything I was saying. And they said, right, we'd like to give you a contract. So then I put the phone down, and I thought, holy shit, I've got to write it. But what was really, again, a really very emotional moment was this year, because the publisher put the book forward for Business Book of the Year, and I reached the final. And when you can see the amount of authors that were around me at that particular event, I was really choked about that, because it's almost as though somebody can give me £20,000 for a project or do whatever, but it's a different feeling when somebody buys your book, because you know what has gone into it. And we are talking about mental health probably a little bit here as well. I had massive imposter syndrome writing that book. I thought, who am I to be able to write this book? I've been in this industry 5 minutes. What do I know about influencer marketing? And my sister said to me something really quite powerful. She said, remember, nobody else is writing a book on influencer marketing by Gordon Glenister.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah,
and she made it really made me feel very good about it. And obviously the rest is history. The book has since been translated into Portuguese, and we've made a documentary film as well on the back of that. So
what's the book called?
It's been a journey.
What's the book called?
Say again?
What's the book called?
Oh, the book is called Influencer Marketing Strategy.
Okay, I'll pop a link in the comments. So what is an influencer? And there are different types, right? So you've got influencers, micro influencers, nano influencers.
Yeah.
Just give me a flavor of each.
Sure. I mean, an influencer is largely, an individual who can affect the behavior in others, often through sort of trusted opinion, knowledge, and content creation. And I think it's really important to mention that, because it's not just about taking pretty pictures. It's about influencing change in behavior of others. Because when we hit subscribe or follow, that person's content has had an impact. Sure. Now, yes, there are absolutely different types of influencer, and those can be, and when we talk about social media influencers, the public reaction, that's it's a female Instagram influencer that's probably going to be 23, and that's what they think, that promotes pretty pictures. Well, it's actually, first and foremost, in some shape or form, we all influence people. A mother and father influences their children. A school teacher influences the rest. And I think sometimes we lose sight of the attributes of influence. Why do we do something? Just because we're told to do something? We are told because somebody is inspiring us, somebody is educating us, or somebody's entertaining us. Those are my three really important elements of influence. But yes, there could be a YouTuber, it could be somebody on Instagram or TikTok, but it could also be a B2B influencer, and that could be like somebody in the events industry. It could be a speaker, it could be an author, it could be a technical expert, for example. You would have seen people during COVID being very influential. You think about what that was like to change the behavior of millions of people through taking up the vaccine. That was a huge amount of influence driven by that. As I say, educators, researchers can be influencers, and it's not all about the number of followers you have sometimes, and we get a bit het up on that, and we think it's all about size is everything. It's about the relevance of your audience. So we're going to come on and talk about that.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's just break down those little segments. So we've got a nano.
Can you hear me?
You're a bit quiet, but I can hear you.
Okay. No, I didn't know if you can hear me or not. I just want to ask you a quick question, because you mentioned B2B.
Yes.
And TikTok.
Yes.
Lots of people I speak to are questioning whether they can use TikTok in a B2B environment to drive Have you started to see that more? Is that possible?
Absolutely. Yeah. The great thing about TikTok is its algorithm is much more open to people that, in other words, you can get up to like 1,000 followers or subscribers rather on TikTok much more easily than you would, for example, on Instagram. If you've noticed, if you've been on TikTok, you will see a wide range of different content being shared to you as a viewer. Whereas on Instagram, the way the algorithm works is much tighter control. So if you've liked that type of content, you're going to get almost identical. Whereas what TikTok does is it spoon feeds you little things that you might find a little bit more interesting. So we've seen people that have gone from, within a week, they've got huge audiences because something that they've done has been super interesting. So yes is the answer. We know that it's still a largely focused younger person's platform. 75% are between the ages of 18 and 30. But that is growing. That is growing quite a lot. So that's super important. The other thing that I just wanted to come back on those different grades of influencers. Didn't quite finish that. So a nano influencer is somebody that has up to sorry about that. Such as the perils of being what you thought was a private room.
Right. Yeah.
Up to 1 to 10,000 followers is a nano influencer. A micro influencer tends to be between 10 and 50,000. And 50 to 250,000 is a mid-tier, and then once you get past that, you're into the macros and the mega influencers, which tend to be over 1 million followers. On Instagram, Dan, the average level of engagement is around 1.6%. You're likely to get triple that with a really good micro influencer because they're much more receptive to their audience. So for example, let's just say you're a mega influencer with 1 million followers, you got 20,000 comments or likes. There's no way on earth you're going to be able to go back and reach out to those people. But if you had 50 comments on your platform, then the likelihood is that person's going to be able to go back to them and say, thanks very much for that, like what you said. And so there's a real conversation developing with those smaller niche influencers.
So event organizers, obviously always trying to different ways of driving awareness and registrations. It's definitely post-pandemic, we have to work harder to get people to come to events because they got used to not going and consuming content online. They're more discerning about the type of events they go to. So always looking at different ways and also cost-efficient ways. So they might not be having more budgets, but they might redistribute their budgets. How can event organizers use influencers to promote their event? And maybe you've got some examples. I don't know what you can sort of bring to life.
Well, since we last did the podcast, I've run 2 campaigns, one for the technology for marketing show and e-commerce show, which was a massive success.
Close to Still. Was it Close to Still's event?
It's Close to Still. It was absolutely jammed. I mean, obviously, the subject in itself is highly relevant now anyway. So not only with my association were we a media partner to the event, so having good media partnerships with associations is definitely a thing to do. Because they can often bring really great guests along, and I'm always providing panelists of influencers. So when somebody works with me, it's not like they've not just got me, but I've procured a number of top influencers as well. So that in itself is a really good. So having influencers as speakers, either as keynotes or as panelists, is a really good thing to do. But equally promoting them in advance. And I know all of the organizers would be doing that. But I think there's a step that they can take that's much more than that. So one of the suggestions I gave to Close to Still was to have what I called a Twitter bomb And that what that was having a set day and a set time where it's promoted as this is the day when the show really goes live. So everybody posts, all the speakers, all the exhibitors, and the influencers that are involved in potentially a campaign. So it's almost like we're all coming together, and the aim is to trend the show even if it's only for an hour or so, and make it fun. Perhaps link into a charity, perhaps do some form of competition so that they have to post something very specific about it. We've been talking about a mascot for next year, for example, like a little panda that supports sustainability or something really cool and relevant. What we found is, and I've had some absolute intel back, that it was a real great success. They had lots of the biggest amount of engagement that they'd ever had, because as an event organizer, you can ask a speaker to do something, you can ask an influencer to do something, but what happens is they're busy, but if you tell them that this is going on at this particular time, and don't forget, we can all schedule posts. So even if they're busy at 8 o'clock on the Tuesday, they can schedule it a week before, a month before.
Well, now actually on that point, LinkedIn, you can now schedule posts, can't you?
You can indeed. Yeah. So the point I'm making is this was a really, really good thing that worked really, really well. And the third thing I was just going to say is we ran an influencer campaign with 3 influencers, and it was really interesting to see how they developed it. Now, one was a tech influencer, one was a marketing agency, and another was a freelance marketing consultant. So they all had different levels of success, I won't lie, but one of them was very, very successful, and she did a really cool video, and really enthused and excited. And what she did, she talked about some of the keynote sessions that were going to be on there. So I think influencers can work really well if they're attending, but even if they're not, what's really important, even somebody with the biggest audience, it's about how you pitch it. Remember, the people that want to come to the show are really interested in who's going to be speaking, who's the big draw. So you've got to make sure that is center front in the type of content that you give to the influencers. We also did another one for the photography and video show. Now, what was interesting there is one of the issues that they've got as an exhibition is they have a real lack of female and particularly diverse creators. So what we wanted to try and do was to make sure that we reached out to a younger audience, and particularly those that had a strong following of people interested in photography and video for obvious reasons, but also that had a very good engagement with their followers. And so that campaign worked really well, because what we also did was we ran a banner ad campaign as well. So I think what can work really well is when you not just have influencer content on its own, but when you add social spend behind it to effectively boost it and boost the eyeballs on the brand. Yes, and make sure, by the way, Dan, you have a UTM link so you can track it. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how, and you sort of referenced it a little bit in terms of how you can track the results, because it's always a bit challenging, especially if you're getting into sort of metrics of registrations, because there's lots of talk about the last click attribution model. How can you measure the results of using an influencer on a show?
By having simply a unique tracking code that drives it. I mean, I will say that one of the things that I learned from one of the shows is, influencers can build a lot of awareness early, but if you go too early, a big percentage of individuals confirm whether they're going to an exhibition, very close to the event, don't they? So what you could do is have a really good influencer content that's like 6 weeks out to create some brand awareness, but you might not get the click-throughs of the conversions at that moment. Whereas, do you see what I mean? So that makes it a little bit more harder to attribute it. So we found that by going, one of them we went earlier and one of them we went later, and it's fair to say that the one that went later did create more conversions.
Yeah, makes sense.
But you know, sometimes one thing I will say with influencers is by having a bunch of them together, it's like betting on the national. you might get
a syndicate.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Now, obviously, you're going to make sure that they've all hit the boxes in terms of engagement, and they're all out there. But you know, there's lots of things that can affect a result.
Can you obviously we've discussed it. You pop up everywhere. You're always at events, moderating, keynote speaking. Why is it important for you to do that? To share your stories in person and online and in demand?
Well, because to be honest, what I want to be able to show is I see what I do is promoting the value of the discipline. You know, the fact that I write for the London Evening Standard, I'm really chuffed about, albeit I'm not paid for it, but there's another thing. But the point is, it's if you look at how much negative news has been in the mainstream media about influencer marketing, and look, let's be honest, there are idiots out there, but there are idiots in all walks of life. But, you know, you've got some amazing individuals working in this industry that work very, very hard and create amazing content that really does drive results. And I feel passionately about supporting all these disciplines, whether it be in cyber security, whether it be in beauty and hair industry, you know, whatever. You know, I am constantly inspired by the people around me, and I just want to give them a voice. And sometimes I want to give them a voice down to an older audience that is sometimes cynical because they don't understand the benefits of using influencer marketing. Look, I'm nearly 58, so I'm no spring chicken, but I'm really supportive of connecting brands with people. You know, we trust individuals way more than we do traditional advertising. And let me tell you, Gartner did some research a few years ago that said Gen Zs trust traditional advertising to the tune of just 1%. So if you want to get people engaged, and that's that next generation of marketeers that our industry is targeting, and you haven't got a good social media presence, then, you know, your competitors that do will be taking that lion's share of that event.
Listen, Gordon, thank you so much. That was really informative. Obviously, I will play it back on demand as well, cut some of the content up, do some good influencer communication by repurposing the content.
Well, and you are an influencer. Let's not forget, Dan, you are an influencer in the exhibition and events industry yourself.
Well, doesn't pay very well. One day. Give it back. Listen, enjoy the rest of your time in Spain. Then obviously you're flying off to Dubai, so we look forward to seeing your sunbed shots and pictures of you drinking whatever you drink over there. What are you doing in Dubai? Are you going to another show or?
No, I'm going to the 1 Billion Summit. So it's some of the world's biggest content creators are coming to Dubai. I've never been there before, so I'm certainly interested in different opinions around the Middle East. Obviously, with what's going on at the moment, there's a lot of interest around the Middle East, not least of all football. But it is an interesting area that I'm keen to explore more about.
Fantastic. Thank you for giving up your time today. Enjoy your travels, and I'm sure I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, and best of luck with the charity. And everybody that's watching this, do donate to this cause. It's a really great thing to do.
Thank you so much. Cheers, Gordon. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. So that was Gordon Glenister. We'll put the link to his book in the comments, and you can reach Gordon on LinkedIn. So few hours left, 3 or 4 hours left. We have got next a great panel debate, the industry through the eyes of the future of event professionals. So Lisa Wild, Director of Institute of Hospitality and Tourism, is moderating a session with 4 students from the University of East London. Wumni Malayo Jason Knowles, Duke Uabel, and Georgina Pascoe. I pronounced those names wrong. I apologise. Doing my best. So yeah, I think let's have a quick check of where we're at. Sorry, my voice is going after 9 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is. We're at £4,663. So we still need £337 to get to our £5,000 target. So if you are able to spare anything, if you're enjoying this, whether live or on demand, so the Just Giving page will still stay open at least to the end of this week. So the end of the first week of December. If you're seeing this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere, please do consider donating, supporting mental health and well-being in the events industry, or better mental health and well-being in the events industry through 3 fantastic charities: EventWell, Meeting Needs, and Make It Blue. I'm just going to take a quick break, and I will be back with the students at University of East London. So bear with me for that.
duro, la mano arriba, cintura sola, la media vuelta, danzando duro, no te canses ahora, que esto solo empieza, mueve la cabeza, danzando duro.
I've had a little bit too much. All of the people start to rush. I guess they twisted dance. Can't find my drink or man. Where are my keys? I lost my phone. What's going on the floor? I love this record, baby, but I can't see straight anymore. It's cool. What's the name of the club? I can't remember, but it's hard. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da-da, just dance, but my record, babe. Da-da-da-da, just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da, dance, just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da-da, just dance, but my record, babe. Da-da-da-da, just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da, dance, wish I could show my playboy mouth. How'd I turn my shirt inside out? Control your poison, babe. Roses have thorns, they say, and we're all getting lost tonight. What's going on the floor? I love this record, baby, but I can't see straight anymore. It's cool. What's the name of the club? I can't remember, but it's just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da-da, just dance, on my record, babe. Da-da-da-da, just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da, dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da, dance, gonna be okay.
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Let it rain. Let me talk to you. Come on.
Go DJ. Go DJ.
There's a stranger in my bed. There's a pounding in my head. Glitter all over the room. Pink flamingos in the pool. I smell like a mini bar. DJ's passed out in the yard. Bobby's on the barbecue. This a hickey or bruise. Pictures of last night ended up online. I'm screwed. Oh well. It's a blacked out blur, but I'm pretty sure it would. Damn. Last Friday night. Yeah, we dance on tabletops and we take too many shots. Think we kiss my time for God last Friday night. Yeah, we raised our credit cards and we kicked out of the bar. So we hit the boulevard last Friday night. We were streaking in the park, skinny dipping in the dark. Then had a menage a trois last Friday night. Yeah, I think we both alone always say we're gonna stop. But there's Friday night.
Every time you come around, you know I can't say no. Every time the sun goes down, I let you take control. I can feel the paradise before the world explodes. And tonight had something wonderful. A bad habit, sleep till late nights, feeling alone. Conversations with a stranger I barely know. Swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use or do. My bad habits slip away. I swim in space, and I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, now I can't escape. What happens after two? My bad habits slip to you. 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 Every pure intention ends when the good times start. Falling over everything to reach the first time spark. Starting on the neon lights and let it all dark. I only know how to go too far. Bad habits lead to lonely eyes, stare in space, and I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, now I can't escape. But then I lose half the truth. My bad habits lead to you. 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 You know, sometimes I think about it now and then, but I never wanna fall again. Yo no te quisiera olvidar, pero contigo es todo nada. You deep some more, now you're drowning out. It's a question of love, like it's not enough. But I hate that you got me fired up. You regret it now, but it's all a mistake. What makes you think that my mind has changed? And you hate that you messed up. One day you'll love me again. One day you'll love me for so. One day you'll wake up feeling how I've been feeling, baby. You'll knock at my door. One day you'll love me again till the end. One day you'll make me try. One day you'll realize I'm more than your lover. I'm more than your lover. Yo quiero que te quedes conmigo. Deja tus amigas allá atrás que nos vamos en un mes escondido. Nos vamos pa' trucks en K-Goss, allí calmamos las ganas. Suéltate conmigo, mamá, que ya no hay marcha atrás. Una noche sin ti, no está fácil, baby. Yo soy pa' ti, y tú eres pa' mí. Nunca me dejes de querer. Oh, na, na, na. Contigo por siempre. siempre, baby. No quiero dejarte esta vez. One day you love me again. One day you love me for sure. One day you wake up feeling how I've been feeling, baby. You knock at my door. One day you love me again. Love me again to the end. One day you make me cry. One day you'll realize I'm all that you love, I'm all that you love.
Yo sé que estoy en tu corazón, quizás en el fondo. Porque baby me escribe, nunca le respondo. La vida da vuelta y el mundo es redondo. Y yo voy a que te beso de nuevo en London. No tienes más bella. Encima de la arena viendo las estrellas. Yo sé que ni las olas han borrado mi huella. Pero tú quitas el
Señorita, I wish I could pretend I didn't need that, but every touch is ooh la la la, it's true la la la. Oh, I should be running, oh, you keep me coming, but yeah.
Red in Miami, the air was hot for summer, it's been tripping off me. Before I even knew her name, la la la. You felt like ooh la la la, yeah, oh. Sapphire moonlight, we danced for hours in this tequila sunrise. Her body fit right in my hands, la la la. You felt like ooh la la la, yeah. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is ooh la la la, it's true la la la. Oh, I should be running, oh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is ooh la la la, it's true la la la. Oh, I should be running.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Una noche más y copas de más. Tú no me dejas en paz, de mi mente no te vas. Aunque sé que no debo, ay, pensar en ti, bebé, pero cuando bebo me viene tu nombre, tu cara, tu risa y tu pelo. Ay, dime dónde tú estás, que yo por ti cojo un vuelo. Ya yo nada ni me llego, aunque sé que no debo. Mami, búscame en casa, para pegar lo que pasa. Ay, si tú me pruebas la casa, ay, acercaron mi cabeza y yo la cojo por tocarte, pero a mí me atrevo a testearte. Tú con cualquier outfit la aparta, mami, tú eres aparte. Chari tiene un culo bien grande, demasiado grande, y yo te tengo cuidado con mi mamá.
If you don't wanna see me,
Go DJ.
so if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything can stop me. show up, don't come out. Don't stop caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't stop caring about me now. If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me.
Okay, hello again, everybody. That was DJ Cisco, and DJ Cisco is from Notifeied. His real name is Francisco Garza, and he is a senior streaming media producer at Notifeied. So thank you, DJ Cisco, for creating that for us. Some great tunes there. I was doing some dad dancing in my room. So we're going to have a session from University of East London. We're going to be talking to 4 event management students, and this session is going to be led by Lisa Weil, Director of Hospitality and Tourism there. So I'm just going to wait for the students to be in the green room. While I do that, just to say, quick donation update. Thanks to people that have just given. So thanks to David Adrain of CISO, who gave some money, Pritesh Mordia, a couple of anonymous donations, Sammy Allen as well, Trevor Foley. So thank you for those. We're currently up to £4,763. So 95% of our target of 5K. So £237. So if anyone's got £237 down the back of a sofa that they want to then turn into digital currency and give via Just Giving, that will be fantastic. I can see some of the event students in the virtual waiting room. I can see Jason, Wimley and Duke. Duke just needs to connect his camera, I think. Just waiting for Lisa as well, and also Georgina Pascoe. So bear with me. I will be back with you as soon as students land in the studio. Okay, so I think we are going to be ready for our next session. I can see my friends at the University of East London in the virtual waiting room. So to start off with, I'm going to bring on Lisa Wild. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're
Been
not
a good
at the
day
university.
today. I'm not at the university, no. Normally I am. Today, I must admit, I got up a little bit too late to catch the train.
Oh, okay.
So-
Well, at least you're honest.
So working from home.
I thought you might be in like one of the dormitories.
I'll just be honest there, yeah.
I thought you might be one of the in the dormitories.
So no, just sort of slept through the alarm this morning and then
Oh, lucky you! I was up at 4:30.
halls of residence, Dan.
Yes, I remember that very well. Halls of residence. Right, I'm going to add on some of your students. I think I can see 3 or 4. 3.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's have a look. This is Jason Knowles. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How you doing?
Good, nice, good, strong connection you've got there. Nice. I'm going to add on Woman. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, nice to see you again. I obviously saw you guys at last week's mock assessments. I'm going to add on Jude.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear your feedback. I don't know whether you've got another device on. That's it. Cool.
Like this? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Nice to see you. I don't know, Lisa, if Georgina's joining or not. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
well,
said she's joining. I think
She was stuck on the motorway last time I heard from her.
oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, so oh, I can hear some feedback. I don't know if someone's got another device on. Maybe turn other devices off if you've got the stream on, because otherwise you'll have some feedback. Is everyone all right with that? Can everyone hear okay?
Yeah.
I'm all good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Lisa, I'm going to hand over to you. Can Lisa hear me?
I can.
Oh, you were frozen. I didn't know if you were if that was your sort of model pose. Right. What was it called? Blue Steel.
I can still hear you, Dan. That'll be it.
I think there's a bit of a delay in your picture, but hopefully you can hear me and you can carry on. So essentially, what we're going to do in this session is we're looking at the industry through the eyes of future event profs. And Lisa, I'm going to hand over to you. So I'm going to jump off, and then I'm going to be listening in. And I'll jump back into it again.
Perfect.
If that's
No
all right.
worries. Perfect. Okay, so over to us then. So great pleasure to be here representing the University of East London. I even put on my sweatshirt today just to be able to say that we're here representing the University of East London and the Institute of Hospitality and Tourism.
Yeah.
So I am joined by currently 3 of my final year event management students. So they will be graduating from us in May and going out into the big bad world of the events industry. So we've got 45 minutes to explore what the events industry is through their particular eyes, and we've got a few of the questions that they're going to be responding to during this time. And so hopefully there will be some inspiration along the way for everybody that's listening to us. So first question out to everybody. Why did you decide on a career within the events industry? So why have you studied event management, and why the career? So Jason first.
I mean, for me, I've been in hospitality for like about a decade now. And I came out of college and didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, because I was doing photography and media. But it just didn't feel right for me at the time. So I took up hospitality on a whim and absolutely fell in love with it. I just kind of like the service, customer service part of it, and speaking to customers, getting to know people, networking, and it kind of carried on like that. And as my kind of career progressed over the past decade, it's actually when COVID hit, where I kind of had a bit more time to myself to think. I was trying to be more proactive and do things at home and do like masterclasses for people about hospitality online. But it was then it clicked that actually the main part of hospitality that I like is the event side of it, because I would have these venues and I would try and manage weddings and things like that and kind of go for junior event role positions. And so the first year I came to university was just after lockdown, and we were doing most of it online. And then coming into the second year, I had more of a experience of actually coming to university and learning, you know, these roles and more new trends, etc. So coming into university late, but learning new trends and bringing it into the real world. And from there, I've gone from hospitality, and I'm kind of now really intrigued into getting a full-time events job. So, yeah.
Perfect, Jason. Yeah, it was definitely, the first year was definitely a bit turbulent, shall we say, with the joys of COVID and teaching online and everything else. But we're back on campus, which is good. So, Wumi, over to you.
Over to me. So me and events, we've been going on a journey. I was meant to study events a long while ago, but I thought I can do it by myself. So I did my own like live music events and stuff. But I've always had a passion for events. Like events are an integral part of my life. I'm Nigerian. I'm always going to weddings, parties, to colorful events, and I felt like I love the idea of bringing visions to life, like storytelling through events, making people's dreams come true, essentially. And it's just a kind of way for me to like showcase my creativity, which I love doing. It's also a way to help people like bring their ideas to life. And it's also a way to like connect cultures, connect people's experiences together. And I just feel like events for me is like part of life. And I think being the next gen of events, especially in a time like this, like I'm really excited because there's so much ideas, so much innovation, so many different tools we can use. So yeah, events and me, we're like best friends, and I'm really, really excited to be finally studying it. And yeah, I'm just really excited to bring like moments and visions to life, really, for events.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like you're in a relationship with the events industry there. That's sort of is your soulmate there.
Yes.
Okay, Duke. Why
Hi,
a career?
yeah.
Why a career in the events industry?
Why career? Well, it was never even thought through that much that I would go into events. My family was very much a hospitality family since decades. So I kind of fell in love with that whole food and beverage aspect of events and hospitality as a kid. So when I was about 6, 7, I used to work in my dad's restaurants and go to all of the events he would stage. So that's kind of the link where I thought, okay, maybe a career in events. And then my extensive experience in hospitality kind of led me to go a bit away from hospitality and more into events because I thought it was more interesting. And the whole aspect of, you know, providing an experience for people, like escaping their day-to-day life was very, I always liked to do that in school already. So I used to host like parties when we were in secondary with like live music and stuff just to, you know, make some more money on the side in that sense. And it's always something, I don't know, I was very passionate about. So I started, when I moved to London, I thought, why not do events? Because London is like a massive hub of, you know, different events, and there's always something going on. So there's a lot of career opportunities there, and it was just a lot of fun for me. So that's basically how I got into it.
Perfect, G. Thank you. And finally, Georgina, why have you studied events, and why the move for the career within the events industry?
Hi. So yeah, similar to everybody else's. It is a huge passion for me. It's a really big hobby. I think it's been a tough journey for me, I think, with finding out what I want to do, what I want to focus on. But yeah, I mean, live events, it's my life. So it's literally every week, like I'm doing something within that anyway as a hobby. So I think working in this industry, it's not just going to be a career for me. It's definitely something that I'm going to love to do. Yeah, more of a hobby for me. But yeah, it's been tough. I didn't know for a very long time what I wanted to do. I started uni late as well, so it wasn't something that I was straight from school into uni. It took a few years out first just to figure myself out. But yeah, I'm extremely happy I'm here and I'm loving it. And I find that's a really good way to help me bring myself up my shell, bring up my confidence, everything like that. So I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that, Georgina, over the years. That confidence has definitely grown, which is something good to be able to see. Okay, you've all spoken about the lots of passion and everything else, and that's why you've been studying event management with your degree, and that's why you want to move on to that career within the events industry. But if you had to think about one particular thing that you're most passionate about where the events industry is concerned, what would that be? And Duke, you're up first.
I'll definitely say the food and beverage aspect. So the culinary catering side of events is something I'm the most passionate about, just because, like I mentioned before, my family's always been in food and beverage, and I always love to work with food. If it is the catering side or actually, cooking the food, I'm open to everything and I enjoy every aspect of it. So even when it comes down to like the food and beverage management side of it. So it's definitely like my number one passion, I would say.
Okay, thank you. Wumi, the one big passion that you have for the industry?
As in like the department or just in general, like what I'm passionate about, like anything.
Passionate about.
I'm like I said already, I feel like I keep saying the word creativity. I feel I need to find another word that says creativity. That's not creativity, but I love being creative again, and whether that's through festivals or like live music festivals, food festivals, or anything like that, where I can just like transform an idea, especially now in a time like this through the COVID times, everything like that. The experience economy is like key. And I feel like understanding all them elements and finding ways to be innovative and creative for the consumers is what I'm passionate about, because I love going to events myself, and I've been to some questionable events. So I feel like there's a lot we need to figure out on how to make the customer's experience like beautiful from start to finish. And that is why I'm pushing for this. I really love festivals, live music events, food festivals, all that stuff. And as long as I can just add my mind and my creativity, then that's what I love. So yeah, I'm really passionate about festivals, creativity, and all that good stuff.
We just need to be more creative around the word creativity.
Creative.
Okay, Georgina, where does the passion come from? What part of the industry are you passionate about? Georgina, can you hear us? Have we lost Georgina, or is it just me?
Looks like it.
Jason, I'll come to you then.
All right. My passion for events in particular is festivals. I've been going to festivals for about, I don't know, since I was a kid, so maybe like 15 years or something. And from that kind of 15-year, like being an attendee, I've seen a massive progression in like the standard of set design. And that's like one big thing for me, is how creative people can be, but with new technology. And so that's kind of one of the main things for me. But also I like being able to tap into that and see all the little micro venues that are happening with people's different ideas of immersive experience. Being able to be used in a large scale event is really important to me. And I've seen lots of people's ways of thinking, and some are, it can blow your mind. It just makes me want to be able to be there and do what they're doing.
Okay, so you want to be immersed in it and to be able to have all those experiences and to be able to find those experiences for other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect. I think Georgina is back with us. So back to you, Georgina. So what are you most passionate about where the events industry is concerned?
So yeah, again, very passionate about live music events, festivals, concerts, all that kind of thing. Like I said, it's a huge hobby for me. So that is like the one place I can go to and kind of feel really empowered, I guess, being there. Like it's just somewhere where I feel free. But as well as that, I think as well, another passion that I'm working towards, I currently volunteer for an organisation who supports women in the events industry. And I think it's really nice and again, empowering to be surrounded by other women that want to support each other, equal opportunities, creating safe spaces. So So there's a lot of diversity, I think, within the industry. So this is something that I find I can really express myself and connect with others, network with others that have the same passions as me as well. So yeah, that's definitely something that I think is my biggest passion at the moment within the industry.
Perfect. Thank you, Georgina. Okay, so now we're looking at the industry through your eyes and being our future event prof. So now thinking about it, what do you think, or what do you see as the current opportunities that are available within the events industry? Women, coming to you first.
Oh, opportunities. I think playing on the idea of more like of the escapism, because everyone wants to escape reality. So I think that's a big opportunity to push on, and I'm trying to find different ways that I can do that within events. Because we were locked down for a long time, and events are coming back. They're doing the hybrid events, they're doing the virtual, but I feel like I just want to go to an event and forget about everything that's going on, forget about the cost of living crisis, forget about the pandemic. So I feel like an opportunity is to play on the escapism and really just finding ways to bring that to life in events. So that's what I feel like is a big opportunity for me to do, and for the industry as well.
Thank you very much, Remy. Jason, what do you see as the current opportunities for the industry?
I guess kind of going off what I was talking about earlier when it comes down to like micro venues. Now you've got all of these like large scale events companies that are doing big things, and maybe as someone that's maybe an entrepreneur in the game that maybe doesn't have investment to do something huge, might want to start somewhere small like a micro venue and be able to have an opportunity to kind of creep up into the events industry. So you can kind of come up with these immersive ideas, create it, draw it out, get a blueprint for it, and then kind of pitch yourself to someone that has the investment and the money to let you do it in their kind of space. And that kind of allows you to have a stepping stone into the industry. And it's kind of one of the main opportunities I see for the kind of festival side of it that I'm looking at.
Okay, so that is something that you will be looking at doing upon graduation.
I believe so.
You hope so. You may be looking for any willing investors that might be out there. Okay. Georgina, what do you see as the current opportunities for the industry?
So I think the young people are definitely something that are a big opportunity. Obviously, it's the future of events, future of the industry. I think that the younger generation can really open up like some controversial questions and statements, and really fight back on like statements like that's the way it's always been, things like that. I think it can really push on the questions as why and change for the better. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's the future. And then with all the trends, knowledge as well, and like kind of wokeness, I guess, it can create a big impact on the industry.
Okay, so what are some of these controversial things that you're thinking of then, Georgina, just pushing you a little bit further?
I guess kind of like, why aren't jobs open to wider markets? Like, why is it the same people who are getting the same opportunities? Why aren't there many opportunities for entry levels, I think? Again, like, why are there many stereotypes as well in the industry with like certain job roles, things like that? I think the younger generation are definitely a lot more, well, I don't want to put anything too out there, but they're very forward thinking and want to align themselves with like good ethics and things like that. So there's a lot of things to consider, I think.
Yeah, and I think I think you are quite right when there's back to some of the stuff around the different job opportunities and everything else. People want people with experience, but you can't get the experience if nobody's giving you the opportunity and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely with you on that one. Okay, and Duke, then opportunities for the industry.
By building on, for instance, what Wumi said about creating experiences where people have like this element of escapism, I agree with her definitely that you need to be offering experiences as a whole rather than services. Also, what Georgina said, I think that a lot of events are going to be built around awareness and like we're doing today, fundraising, because I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, and the event industries are just an amazing opportunity to showcase whatever without having a specific agenda or having to tick boxes, because you're very open in how you're creating your events and how you design them. And I think also, I mean, obviously this whole sustainability situation is always going to be in the forefront of, running events now, especially now after COVID. The shift towards virtual events is very apparent and imminent, but at the same time, I believe that there's a massive demand of, like Wumi said, just going back to events as a whole, as a person. So I think hybrid events is definitely going to play a big role in, being able to create and foster an environment where you get the best of both worlds, if it is, incorporating technology for the greater good, or creating, being able to showcase your event in real life with different elements to it. So I think there's a lot that needs to be taken into consideration for the next couple of years. Also due to COVID, I mean, people don't have the fundamentals, like the capital to do large scale events. So just like Jason said, micro events and smaller businesses will be able to, explore their options more into depth now as well, because there just is also a demand for it. Rather big events hosting small private weddings, for instance, just like micro events, which is a massive trend right now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so looking at the other side of the coin then, there's lots of opportunities that are out there that you guys have picked up on, everything else and other things that we've discussed. But what do you, through your eyes, as moving into the industry, being our future event profs, what are the current challenges being faced by the industry, in your opinion? Jason, coming to you first.
Current challenges. I mean, Duke did start to mention it about like the fast track of technology with virtual events after the pandemic. I think for smaller businesses that haven't been able to keep up with that technology, are kind of maybe finding it a little bit hard to be able to hold hybrid events, etc. With that in mind, it can be an opportunity in ways to kind of say that we're an independent business and we're better at character and communicating with clients over these large things that or events companies that can do it. But being able to keep up with the kind of technology speed is something that I feel is going to be challenging for people like smaller events companies, for sure.
Yeah, so keeping up with that speed of those technology changes, the different software and hardware and everything else that's needed, and the outlay that is required for that sort of thing that may not be possible if you haven't got the budget.
For sure.
Okay, Wumi, what do you think the current challenges are being faced by the industry?
I have two. So the first one is inclusivity. So I feel like over 50s are not in the conversation anymore with events. It's like life stops for them, and I feel like it shouldn't. I feel like they're vibrant. Like my mum, she's an outgoing person. I've met so many people that want events that they can feel like they're included in the conversation, especially through marketing as well, through like opportunities. So I feel like they have disposable income. They're ready to spend. They're ready to have these experiences. And I feel like we need to overcome the challenge of not just focusing on Gen Z or focusing on certain demographics. We should focus on other people as well, because they want to be included in the conversation, and I feel like that will create a lot of like immersion for them as well. That's one. And I feel like the second one is diversity for me. I've been lucky enough to do opportunity with a big organization in America, but when I was talking to certain industry professionals, there was nobody that looks like me. So I feel like there needs to be more diversity in all areas of the events industry, from the top to the bottom to in between, in order to have an actual change, an actual push, because there's so much everyone can do from different walks of lives. And I feel like there's not a lot of change in 2022 that's happening. There is talks about it, there's opportunities, but it's still a bit of a rocky road. And I feel like that's a huge challenge to get over, that we're all in a sense equal. We all have enough to give in this industry, and I feel like the hierarchy is happening a lot, especially in diversity and inclusivity, and it needs to be broken down and taken back to basics on your skill quality, what you can bring. And I feel like with that, we'll be able to progress more and create more opportunities for more people from different walks of life. So definitely diversity and inclusivity for me is a challenge, it's an opportunity, and it's a strength as well. If you really just focus on it and push it through properly, I think it can be beautiful. So yeah, for me, that is definitely a challenge that needs to be done.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely some work to be done in that. I dare say that sort of essence of diversity and inclusivity and everything else is something that is on the agenda, I think, and some of the challenges that we're facing. Okay, Duke, in your eyes, through your eyes then, what are the current challenges of the industry?
I mean, now again, to like a bit base it on what my fellow students said, because I mean, there are the major points, technology and diversity for 100% in all areas. It will be definitely a big problem or big threat for smaller scale event companies to, be able to stay competitive while these big companies are implementing hardware and software that is easier for everyone to use, which also comes with a certain price, and it sets a tone for the industry. Speaking of inclusivity and marketing, especially marketing around events towards people that are maybe not in our age group, is very important, because like this aspect of disposable income from these age groups is a big opportunity for target market to explore that certain target market. But at the same time, you need to be able to implement people their age in the planning processes of these events. So having a diverse working field and spectrum is very important to be able to tailor these unique events and go away from the repetitiveness. So I think the repetitiveness of events is one of the biggest challenges the industry will have, just staying creative and individual, because there is a big demand for events, but not the same type of events. So I think if it's for a lot of event companies to stay feasible and competitive, then we'll need to branch out, come up with new ideas, implementing new innovation and new trends in a unique way. Yeah.
Thank you, Duke. So thinking about that innovation and everything else within events, any particular suggestions or any particular ideas that come to mind when you think about that?
I mean, I think it's hard to answer that question, because innovation and uniqueness is something that needs to come also on a spontaneous basis. So for it to stay fresh, it can't be something that it has been explored into depth already. But I think there's a lot of new innovation around food and the way we're presenting food in events. Instead of just going around and offering food to people, there's a lot of partaking, a lot of master classes that includes the audience and the attendees, getting them to create cocktails or go. Is this not even just food and beverage? It's also, there's a lot of food photo booths in events now. So getting the people engaged, I think that's the most important thing. So people don't go to events and think, okay, I've listened to something and I've got my doggy bag and I'm on my way, but also they learn something from these events.
So they're looking at that essence of co-creation, and everything else could be an opportunity
Exactly.
as well as a challenge that the events industry has.
Yeah.
Okay, Georgina, final thoughts from you on the current challenges being faced by the industry?
Yes, I think, again, what I touched on before, I think it's the younger, not just younger people, actually, just anybody who doesn't have a lot of experience already in the industry, no matter what their age, you're finding it difficult to break through. Especially older people as well, actually, like when we touched upon like the 50 plus, I think it's difficult. There are not a lot of people that are willing to open opportunities. There's not a lot of like low level or entry level opportunities. A lot of them are voluntary, which to a certain extent is really good to volunteer, but when it's constant, not much progression within that, it becomes difficult to progress from there, I think. Speaking from personal experiences as well, like I haven't been able to find much that can actually give me some level of career progression. It's just kind of volunteer for this, volunteer for that, there's not a lot of opportunities, I don't think. And I think without that, the industry will struggle. I mean, that it will be hard to progress within that. Again, it's a lot of people say it's who you know within that. So if I personally, like, if I hadn't have come to uni, if I hadn't have made connections within uni, I don't think I would have known where to start with it. I wouldn't have known where to go, who to speak to. I wouldn't have had a clue what to do. So I think that level as well of being able to make the right connections, to just get your foot on the ladder, I suppose, is definitely one of the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I think you've definitely got a point there, Georgina. I think there is the fact that sometimes you need the conduit, and that's where we come in with our different contacts and experiences that we've got to be able to make those connections. But if it wasn't for studying, it wasn't for being part of our student body, some of those opportunities wouldn't have been available to you because it's being closed off and everything else. So picking up on Georgina's point then, and a bit of a curveball, because this wasn't one of the questions I was going to ask, but I'm asking it now. What more could the industry do then to encourage you, or actually to open access to you guys? You're at the you're at the start of your career. You've got this huge passion for the industry. You want to be part of it. You're going to be the future, as it were. So what could the industry do now, or the people that are in the industry do now, to encourage you and to be able to open up their doors to you? Wumi, I'm coming to you first.
As I'm thinking,
I can see the cogs moving.
Yeah, because I'm actually thinking about it, like, because I feel like now where I'm at now, like, I'm still figuring out what I want to do in the industry. So it's like maybe like more workshops, or more like, I just feel like, because there's like, it's weird. There's opportunities there, but we don't know the opportunities are there. So it's, how do we know the opportunities are there? Everyone's like, there's opportunities out there, just search. But I feel like maybe if there's like more workshops or more marketing to let us know that there's these opportunities out there. And even when the opportunities are out there, we feel scared to apply for it because we feel like, oh, maybe we won't get accepted, or maybe we won't. So maybe make it more, less like refined in what they're asking for, and make it more conversational, so we can feel like we can approach these people. Because sometimes, like even on LinkedIn, for example, other platforms, you feel like, oh wow, they're doing all these things, just connect with them. But after that, like what happens? So maybe just making there be a middle ground to make us feel a little bit more comfortable, and like them are more approachable for us to really go for these opportunities. Because I just feel like, I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun because we haven't graduated yet. But after I graduate, I'm thinking like, okay, so what do I do? What do I do? So I just feel like maybe that middle ground to make us feel like we can approach these people, and there's workshops to allow us to like understand our skills and all that stuff, and kind of connect on a human level rather than LinkedIn level. Like make it more personable, I think will allow us to feel comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, about showcase. Yeah, definitely. And about showcasing the opportunities that would be available to you. Because I know the majority of people that are in your group, in the cohort and everything else, are very much festival focused at the moment. But that's because that's what you know.
Yes.
Rather than having experiences in different areas and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Okay, Jason, your opinions. What could the industry do to open its doors, or to make it feel a little bit more welcoming?
I'm glad you went for me, because mine's going to kind of come off what Wumi was saying. So I kind of thought straight away that I think there needs to kind of be like an incentive for us to like, so for example, you come out of uni, you've graduated, and maybe there's a certain group of events companies, large scale festivals, corporate events, etc., that then have an academy or a program or some sort of incentive that you start as a junior events manager with them. They know you've graduated, they know you've got the skill set, but then they can mold you into something bigger and better. But they know that you're not a junior that has no experience, but they've got your contact from a university to then grow with them. So you've got then like a future in a first class kind of events company, that then you might be able to grow and then use your ideas to give them new trends, etc. But yeah, for sure, you just need to kind of have like some sort of middle ground, from jumping from here to there.
Yeah, perfect, Jason. I say graduate programs aren't something we see a lot in the events industry. So I think it's definitely something that the industry is missing a trick. Because as I said, you guys are the future. You're the ones that are going to be here long before we finished and everything else, and we've hung up our little hat. But we need to encourage you to be able to get onto that ladder to begin with. Okay, Duke, anything to add on what you think sort of the industry could do to?
Definitely. I mean, the accessibility of placement on a undergraduate level is something companies should be working with unis more, so we can have the opportunity. So when we have our summer breaks, so we can go and have a variety of placements within maybe hotels and event companies, just to see exactly what the day-to-day life would look like. And also that opening the criteria a little bit. So for people, if it's short placements before you even start uni, that you just get a great idea of where am I also going to land, what opportunities are there. Because a lot of people, like you mentioned already, we're very focused in the one thing we know, but there's thousands of different jobs within the event industry. And just because you started off thinking, okay, I want to do festivals, there's nothing that can stand in your way to then just be an event coordinator for fundraisers or whatever. There's so many different options and opportunities. And I think, also the financial aspect of being able to do placements voluntarily, or you're not getting paid for it, but you're putting in the work, is very important. And this needs to be offered to you so you can get a greater point of view of the industry as a whole, rather being set into your own little pathway.
Perfect. Okay, finally, Georgina, what any other suggestions?
I agree, obviously, a lot with what the others have spoken about, but I think not just for university students, but for people that didn't have the opportunity to go to uni, I think have companies create opportunities where there is some kind of level of career progression. I know this already exists, kind of, whether it's some kind of mentorship into a job or some kind of program. I know it already exists, but I think there needs to be a lot more of this, because it is, to be honest, quite rare that I see it. I think uni students do get opportunities, especially from uni, the kind of like grad jobs, things like that. But you have to consider the people that didn't get the opportunities in the first place to even go to uni and still want to do this, still have the passion and knowledge to do it. I think, have some kind of level of strategy, placement, something like that. I think even if it does start from volunteering, which I do believe is very important, I think having something from there, some kind of opportunity to move forward from afterwards, instead of it just ending, then you're just thrown back into into the world.
Okay, perfect. Right. Final question, and this is probably the most important question of the session. Okay, what are your ambitions for when you graduate in the summer of 2023? So all of you are coming to the end. That's 3 or 4 years of hard work, studies, and everything else that you've been doing. So you'll then be stepping both big feet into the events industry. So what are your ambitions? Wumi, I'm coming to you first.
How did I know? My ambition is to firstly breathe and process that I did it, hopefully graduated with a first, and I'm just going to be living in that moment for a couple of months. Then directly after that, I currently have my own business, Nigerian dessert company, vegan one, Yum Puff Treats. So I'm going to hopefully push that more and get myself like a permanent pop-up shop or kitchen. Alongside that, I'm going to be applying from next year for internships or jobs. But the thing is right now, is I'm debating from this course, from studying, I've found a new passion for marketing, especially when I'm having my business as well, and I have to do all the elements of that. So I found a passion for marketing, and I love event curating as well. And I love the two, but I'm just trying to figure out what direction I go. So it'll be good to get internships, maybe short internships in different kind of companies to really find out what I like and what I want to do, rather than just jumping straight in, because the next job I go into, I want to make sure that they understand who I am. I learn from them, they learn from me. I'm able to be innovative and creative and immersed in the organization in order to get real results. So I want to make sure I do it right by exploring different options, whether that be like placements or anything like that. But I definitely want to explore marketing. I want to explore the events, the ins and outs of it. Especially now that we have my business, I'm at a lot of events, so I'm seeing the behind the scenes and being part of the event as well. So really learning about the whole journey and figuring out where I want to go. But I'm really excited for my future. I feel like it's vibrant, and the events industry will be lucky to have me. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put myself and take it from there. But I'm really excited to graduate, and I just definitely want to do something that makes a change and an impact as well in the industry, not just be a robot. I want to really have a positive impact on people's lives and within the industry as well. So yeah, for sure, that's what I'll be doing.
It sounds like a great plan. I can definitely agree with me. The events industry is going to be lucky to have you. And we just need to see how you grow and develop over that time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Duke, then your ambitions for when you graduate.
My ambition. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure exactly what I want to do. I'm very aware of I'm going to take a break from further academic school. So I'm going to put a stop to the classroom for a couple of months at least. But I'm very interested, as I run a business myself already during the weekend, which has a lot of opportunity during the week. I like to focus more on curating the events that come naturally to me due to my target audience approaching me and saying, hey, can we use you as a venue, and can you help us working on supper clubs and music symposiums and live music events, catering, all that kind of stuff. I'd like to put more of a focus on doing at least 2 of those events during the week, while then looking for placement to broaden my culinary skills, because that's, like as before mentioned, is where the area I wanted to go into. So I like to combine those 2 and then see how much potential there is to go back to school and then do a master's, but we'll see, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But definitely focusing more on the event side and curating events for the people, and also especially community interest events. So I'm not planning on looking for profit from any of the events I'm doing within the next year. It's more about building more of industry connections, awareness, very important for me personally as well. And then, just giving back to the community for a couple of years and see what kind of doors that opens.
I can't imagine you going back into the classroom, Duke. I'm sorry. can't imagine it. But yeah, I may be proved wrong. You never know.
Good.
Okay. Georgina, your ambitions for when you graduate.
Yeah, so very much like for me, I think straight from graduation, I need to kind of reflect on what I've just achieved, what I've done, take a minute to breathe. But I think I've sort of started diving into this whole like freelance world anyway, picking up a few jobs here and there, making connections along the way. So I think I'm definitely going to continue with that, getting more experience, finding out what I want to do. I mean, I'm not too exclusive to the exact sector or role at the moment, so I'm still kind of finding my feet within that. So I think continuing this, but also at the same time hunting for a permanent role somewhere, something that I know where I want to kind of settle, I guess. And yeah, I think, definitely straight away, I think freelance will be my way forward, I think, for now. Just experiencing it all, meeting people, doing most.
I'm working out where you fit in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Jason, final point from you or final response from you. What ambitions for graduation?
So, I mean, from hospitality, I talked to a lot of people already during customer service, and during my talks with lots of people, I actually got headhunted, which for a job that I probably would have looked at in May next year. So when I've graduated, and now kind of down to the third interview, I pretty much got the job without trying to jinx it. So from what I've learned from university already, my chat's obviously gotten better, and I seem to have got what I kind of wanted. And if that goes well, I'll kind of probably carry on with that job for a bit, which is kind of, I've sidestepped from bar manager into events and bar manager. So I kind of be able to do a little bit of both. And if that goes well, I'll carry on with that for a bit, but also definitely always doing my micro venues at festivals and kind of progressing with that throughout the summer period and putting a lot more time and effort into that as a kind of a hobby, but somewhere I want to go and do something properly with.
Perfect. So some great ambitions there. I think we're still trying to, some of you are still trying to find out where exactly you sit within the industry. But you're sort of getting there, and I should say you've been on this 3 to 4 year journey with us, and you're ready to go out into the big bad world. But thank you very much.
Sorry to interrupt you. The stream's going to end in a minute because you can only do 4 hours at a time on LinkedIn.
So I'll just say thank you very much, everybody. I can see the time knocking down. So yes.
Bye.
I want to say thank you so much. Really good to meet you last week, and best of luck in the future. I'm sure you do very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, so that was the University of East London students. I've got to jump onto another stream now because I'm only allowed to stream for 4 hours into LinkedIn. Join me on that stream. Still be live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Got about 250 quid to go to get to the 5K target. So see you on the next stream. Thanks, guys.